All right, it's Friday, January 28th. It's the Soapbox. I can't believe Zach's still here. That was a ridiculous episode of the Den Excelsior that we just did. Um, Thank you for sticking around. We
Hey,
were
no problem. It was fun.
we were all over the place. These are the people I chose to spend my Friday nights with, and it always entertains, but it's always weird. You just never know. I guess the Pokemon was the hot topic of the day. Um, but
Brand
yeah,
new release.
what do you unless you don't want to share any of it, but like what do you got going on lately? I know I didn't have time to ask that on the other show. The script gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, no, not much. Like I said, just working. I went back to the luxurious world of retail grocery, store work, which I was before I went PlayStation. I went back to that world after the layoff happened.
Yeah,
I've been there for the last few years, and so just busy. I mean, I work like 50+ hours a week, and so I wish I had more time to actually write and
yeah.
I don't know, be a little more creative, but
Well,
been
well,
kind of lazy.
I am curious because you said that you did that before you were a community manager. How did you pivot?
So I play tested Killstrain years ago. So I got offered like the PlayStation MVPs, which is like a community royalty program they used to do with like
Hmm.
active community members. That's how I first got introduced to the studio. Met Pierre and all the guys that were leading the game. Um, and they had like a part-time opening at the time. And I was just doing. I had just like a blog before I used to do, and that's kind of where I originally was writing on that. And showed them my work and kind of give them a business card when I went down there. Just kind of right place, right time. Really, I mean, it's just
Oh,
lucky.
okay.
Really, yeah. There wasn't some great plan. It just happened to fall into a job in an industry I never expected to work in. And it was
Yeah,
lots of fun. I mean, you were there. It was just a cool place to work. Tons of great people. Just fun place to be.
gotcha. Okay, cool. But like, so I'm curious, like how much of it was how much of the time did you feel like you had imposter syndrome?
Uh, I don't know. It felt good being there, but like I said, it wasn't really like it was like a dream job. I never expected to end up there. I mean, the actual job wasn't anything I couldn't do. I mean, we had a great group down there, like the dev team, the QA, like
Mhm.
everyone worked well together. It was cool doing like events and kind of just the whole multitude of what we got to do. Like nothing
Yeah,
was really like over my head. It was just a fun experience.
because I definitely felt like when in the position that I ended up in there, like I felt it. I felt imposter syndrome for a while. I was like, yeah, I think I can do these things. And like and so and the more and more I did it, the more I felt like, oh no, I understand what I'm doing. But like I definitely felt that for the first few months, and then like that game specifically, that was a very stressful experience. So I was just curious for somebody who didn't work there before, just came in and just went, hit the ground running. Like, was it terrifying, or was it just like everything you wanted it to be? And like, if that was your dream job, like, where do you go from there now? Like, what happens when you peak in life too early?
Yeah, it's a one hit wonder there. Yeah, like the crazy thing was like first few times working shows, like working PSX. I think it might have been that first year there, and like Killstream had a bigger line than Uncharted. We had a bigger line than any game at the show, and like it's just crazy. We're just this like sort of unknown free to play game, and we had a line of like 100 people waiting to play our game. It was crazy. So just stuff like that kind of caught me off guard when it first happened.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I've loved to get back in the industry full time. I mean, I've had interviews since I left there, a couple places. It's obviously hard to do. I only had about a year and a half experience, so I don't have a great resume for experience, unfortunately, to get back in there. Um,
gotcha.
that's why I hope is just to start writing again and start just you know trying to get engaged a little more. Obviously, playing video games is the easy part. I do that all the time,
Gotcha.
but just trying to get more engaged with writing and more creative content. And I mean,
Yeah,
if something leads to it, great. But if not, I have a steady, good job that pays the bills. So that's what I have to
yeah,
focus
yeah.
on. So
Who are some of your favorite writers and reviewers in the video game space?
I like. I always been a fan of like Greg Miller.
Okay.
When he's at IGN, I used to like Podcast Beyond. We actually got a chance to work with him and Colin when they were still together. Kind of funny. Just
Oh, really?
yeah, they came to the studio and did a day down there with us back when I was working there. Really cool. We got like 20 they're like local people from San Diego to come in and do like an internal game like session with us. They hosted their morning show there. We talked about all our games we were in development with. Had David Jaffe come on, and it was just cool. Like I said, and like meeting people like David Jaffe, work with him off and on. Like I said, meeting Greg Miller, Colin. Like I've seen Greg 3 or 4 times since then, just at random shows. And like he recognized me and remembers me still. Like just he's a good stand-up guy. It's just cool. You wouldn't expect that to happen.
No, for sure. I've met Greg a handful of times, and he's. I mean, at least if he's lying, he puts on a good face, but he definitely knows how to like to hold your, make you feel special in every conversation that you have with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he comes across. I mean, obviously he comes across a certain way when you see him, but it's like I said, I've been walking with Liz, my former boss. We were at I think PSX like the year after I got laid off, just walking through the regular sales or show floor, and like he recognized me 30 feet away and like sees me there. It's like there's no reason to give a damn I was walking by. So like he's it seems like a really genuine guy. From some of his stories, like he kind of survived cancer, and I think it kind of gave him like a different look on life. And like he's in a position where like, I mean, who wouldn't want to be that way? Like, he makes a living off of, talking about video games and stuff. Yeah. So it seems like he really genuinely appreciates what he has. And obviously they work hard for what they do, and they make a ton of money doing it, but you could tell he seems pretty genuine from my experience with him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I met him like
he wrote an article about you
way before he was soon. He did. He wrote an article about me. And that he calls me his brother from another mother because we have the same last name. So he definitely recognizes me every time, but I have this weird relationship with that where I feel like it's unfair how often in life people recognize me and I don't recognize them. And you know what I mean? Like it's like cheating. Of course you recognize me, like I have a giant chair that's going to kill you if you don't. But no, yeah, he definitely he's somebody that I've I don't want to be rude, but I guess acquaintance is the nice way to put it, but I met him a long time ago at an IGN party that I got into, and we ended up all playing, he and my friend Clark, and then somebody from PlayStation that was in marketing at the time. His name's escaping me at the moment, but we all played Peacemaker on our PSPs because we just felt like that's the thing to do at this party where everybody's drunk and dancing and stuff like that. So the 4 of us just sat there at a Comic-Con party playing Peacemaker until the weird hours of the night. And like there's Peacemaker.
Are you talking about
sorry
Metal Gear?
Yeah.
Peace Metal Gear.
Yeah, Peace Walker.
Peace Walker is what I meant to say.
You short-circuited him.
You did. Peace Walker is what I meant to say. Sorry. We played that game, and then it was really funny because like we exchanged information and stuff, and after after the weekend had ended, Lindsay had all these pictures of us doing that, and so we emailed them to him, and he was super nice. Not only did he write back and say thanks, but he ended up writing an entire article about his favorite moment at Comic-Con was this. And like, there's just a bunch of stupid pictures of my drunk ass sitting there playing on my PSP and all these things. And so ever since then, like, like for a few years, he was getting me into the parties. Like anytime we were going to go, because like he recognized me and Lindsay. So he would always just get us into the parties. Like he'd get us invitations in advance. And then eventually, like, I felt so bad about always hitting him up for this kind of information, and like one day at a party, he just introduced us to the person that's in charge of the parties. And then she just became our new person that we bugged. And then from then on, I never bugged him again. It was just something, if he happened to be there, he would say hi and he'd come over and hug me and stuff and all these things. And like you guys said, he always make me feel special, even though like I felt like I think I was just using him for these parties for a while, but like he definitely made it more, and so I appreciate that about him. So
it Oh, good, Ricky.
Have you been following up on any of the new like G4 stuff at all?
I saw when they were coming back out, and like a couple of friends were like, "Oh, you should apply. You should try to get in there." It's like I have no real following resume, so I didn't. But it's like I haven't watched much. I know they have a couple of original people back. I know Adam Sussler's back and Kevin Pryor, or whatever. But I haven't really been too much on it. Other just like on Twitter, seeing what they do. I don't know if it's on TV or it's on YouTube. I'm not really sure where it goes.
I think it's on TV. I watched it mostly on Twitch or whatever. But
yeah, it was cool to see it come back. I mean, that was like even before. I don't know if it was from G4, but like Electric Playground, like some of the older shows from like way back when. And I remember Tommy Talrico, and I forgot the other guy's name. Like they used to have the show back in the day. It was just, I don't know. It was cool back when gaming was still like not like a mainstream thing. Just to have like cool shows like that dedicated to it was just fun.
Yeah,
Tommy's good friends with Jaffe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Meeting some of my neighbors is cool. You know,
we've had Jaffe on our show. If you can believe that. We had him on. We Have Spoken. That was kind of like it was the finale episode of that show, which we thought that show would be more regular, but here we are 2 years later, and there's still not another
one Cara Dune later, and
one episode of Mandalorian to speak of.
I full on thought they were going to mention Cara Dune.
I thought they were too.
Yeah, they were going to be like, "Oh, she died. That was a bummer."
Fell off a spaceship. Sucks.
I just expected her funeral.
Hey Pelly, I was able to salvage these pieces from Cara Dune's crash ship. Can you make something for me out of this?
Yeah,
isn't she coming back though? Isn't that the rumor? Isn't she supposed to be going back for season 3, or is there some sort of like?
No, everything I've heard is that Jon Favreau fought forever to try and keep her, but I think he lost that fight.
Okay.
I think he lost that fight. Like
I think she was doubling down.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to just like say your opinion, and I don't think you have to apologize, but if you just tone it down, you can get by. But when you start doubling down, it's like at a certain point, Disney's not going to stay with you.
I reread Evangeline Lilly's post a couple of times to kind of think about it, and I'm like, I don't know how inflammatory it is. Like it's taking a stance that's saying like, hey, look, I got the vaccine. I do support the vaccine. I just don't necessarily support enforcing it in these specific ways. And I
definitely sensationalizing it a bit.
Yeah, I don't know that she's gonna be punished necessarily for that by Disney, because speaking your mind is one thing, but saying ignorant shit is another thing.
Comparing it to the Holocaust is another thing.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
What did.
Yeah.
Until she starts commenting about the green M&M, I think she's safe.
So. Yeah, I don't know that the world is over for Evangeline Lilly.
Because I know I've seen it and I've seen all the memes, but like I don't know exactly what it was. And maybe this
is just changed from boots to high heels or something. I don't think it was much different.
From high heels to boots or whatever. But
and he couldn't get his nut off anymore because
it wasn't just him.
Tucker Carlson is mad because he thinks that Disney's agenda is to take every cartoon character and make them not sexual, and make you not sexually attracted to them. And to be clear, I don't think the goal is to make you sexually attracted to them, with the exception of Jessica Rabbit. That's 100%. That was always the goal.
And Lola Bunny
costume on the ride, you know that, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have
Lola Bunny is not Lola Bunny's not Disney's problem.
And both of the Lola Bunnies,
they're not Disney's problem. Yeah.
Oh, they will be when Disney owns the world.
give it 3 years.
Yeah, give it 3 years. I pray for the day when Disney owns WB, actually.
Yeah.
Then they could throw their weird bullshit ideas at us, and they'll be really good. There'll be a bunch of Peacemakers and Suicide Squads.
I was listening to Giant Bomb this week, and they were talking about the Activision stuff. And one of their pie in the sky, like they were like, what else could happen that would be on the same level? And they threw out a Netflix buying Sony Pictures, and that one would be a lot of money because you have a Spider-Man in the mix. But I don't necessarily see that one. I could see that one happening out of all the weird pie in the sky.
That's a lot of money, though. That's a lot.
Yeah, there's no way.
Netflix has a lot of money.
But the thing
they don't have Spider-Man money.
But the thing is, Sony is so many things.
Mm-hmm. You're just buying Sony Pictures, though.
Yeah, well, that's implying that Japan's down to clown and just sell part of their sofa.
No, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of
You know what I
ifs.
mean? Like,
When
yeah.
for them, like PlayStation and like their entertainment's like their only hugely successful stuff too. Like they're
Well,
not.
it's their PlayStation is their biggest one, and
Yeah.
then I think it's electronics, and then pictures and music.
When they dropped off a lot of electronics,
Yeah.
right? They don't make a lot. That like they still have some phones and like they don't make as much as
TVs.
they used
Well,
to.
I mean,
Crazy.
Netflix is trying to
they
get
still
in the
make
game business
expensive-ass
too.
TVs though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they're-
TVs and the sound systems that they have, the sound bars and the home theater systems are still pretty
Yeah.
expensive.
And they're still high
Yeah.
quality too, you know. So
Yeah, we actually just bought a sound bar not too long ago.
yeah, but I'm not saying not
Mhm.
possible. Netflix has crazy money. Netflix will have to make some moves at some point soon, because like it's all a race to be the future of Demolition Man, right? Like everything is conglomerates.
Yeah.
Like everything has to be Taco Bell owns Michelin / like
Arby's just bought somebody, right?
did they?
Yeah, they
Uh,
just bought.
Was it Jack in the Box bought Del Taco, right? That was the recent one too. Is that what it
Oh,
was?
nice.
Wait,
Someone
that's
bought Del
weird.
Taco.
That's weird and gross. If Jack in the
Jack in the Box bought Del Taco.
Did you know that Jack in the Box is San Diego originated?
I think it's what, yeah, because it was there. They're
Yeah.
both California based. Yeah,
I used
they
to do
bought.
food testing at Jack in the Box
Nice.
for side money. It
I
pays
do it
really
too, but
well.
I give the money to test their food. It's different
See,
now.
Ricky's
Yeah.
a butterfly now. Ricky became a butterfly. That's how I knew about the
Dunkin'
Teflon.
Brands is being bought by Arby's for $11.3 billion.
Dunkin' is being bought by Arby's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dunkin' is
See,
being bought.
What
But
is
it's-
Dunkin' though?
the donuts.
Why
No,
not
I
Dunkin'?
know.
But
I'm
it's
just
Dunkin'
I'm
Brands. They
absorbing
own other
that
stuff.
because I feel like Dunkin's the bigger company than Arby's, but maybe not. I guess.
Really?
I don't think so because Dunkin' has barely made it over to the West Coast in the last few years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it used to just be an East Coast thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why I went to
Ar-
Boston for.
Arby's-
Wait, in the last
It's
couple of
Dunkin'
years,
everywhere.
no,
Oh,
that's
dude,
bullshit.
I would
I
fuck
didn't
up
say
the
I didn't say
Dunkin'
couple. I said
taxis.
few. I said few.
Which,
Okay, well,
tax did
either
you
way,
go to?
few insinuates like 3 or less, maybe 4 or less at the most.
Few insinuates 3 or more.
Okay, 3 or more. Is that what you're saying? It insinuates? Up to what? Up to what number? Up to
Up to
1,000?
whatever I feel comfortable with.
More
Frank.
than 3, yeah.
Man. So you're throwing a nebulous thing. No, Dunkin's been around here for a while. Like it's
No,
been in San Diego since I was growing up. It was
You're
over by
so full of
the
shit. I
No,
went to the first
No,
Dunkin'
no,
in San Diego County when I lived down there.
No way.
I
Dunkin's
took
Yeah.
a date to that
Yeah.
Dunkin'
Dunkin'
Donuts was
opening.
there when I was a kid.
It was in
Nah,
National City.
Hey,
It was
I
over
don't like.
by-
I don't
would
like
say
to
no
agree
more
with.
than 5 years in this area.
Yeah, I don't like to agree with Ricky, but Ricky's right. It was a
you
big
guys are-
thing. We just had our first Dunkin' open down the street a few years ago, and when by a few, I mean like maybe just before the pandemic, maybe just before. But yeah, it was a big deal. There's lines. There's
This is
lines like crazy.
bullshit. 2016
No.
is what it says. This is all
Yeah.
bullshit. You guys are part of a Dunkin' cover up, and I don't appreciate this.
Yeah,
This
No,
is some
Win-
Berenstain shit right now.
Winchell's has been in California for a long
Oh,
time.
actually, no, it was Winchell's. Winchell's.
completely different. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the one over by the what I was saying, the Canadian steak burger place over in.
So are you okay with my
Freddy's? Freddy's is great.
Yeah, I'm
Are
not.
you
I'm not
okay
as
with
mad
my-
anymore.
Are you okay with my liberal use of the word few now? A few years?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
Well, no, because 2016 is still more than a few. I mean, think it's 2022
It's-
now.
That's 8 years ago.
That's bad math, bro.
2020.
Wait, 2016?
You said 8
Yes.
years.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, not 8 years. 6
That was
years.
at
It's
least a decade.
barely
It's
6 years.
6
It's
years.
Barely.
But still, that's not a few. That's
it's
this
not.
is
It's
6
only
years.
6 if it opened in January of 2022.
Yeah, what if
That-
it was
that's
December of 2016?
half a decade.
I think
So,
it was
5 years.
It
5
was,
years.
It was cold. There's like memories locked in my brain about that specific Dunkin' opening, but for another time.
I think 6 can be counted as a few.
Okay.
I think. Like
No,
if it's
I think you just want it to be.
if
just
it's
'cause-
less than the amount
Look.
of fingers you have on your hand.
I
I think
ate
that's a
crow.
few.
I
I
ate
think
crow,
that's
and
a
I
few.
admitted that it was Winchell's. I didn't have to. I could have kept going with it. I could have kept the joke going, but I didn't. I ate crow, and I said that. So if you can't admit that 6 years can't be a few, then I don't know. That just
6
means
is a
you're
few.
just stubborn. You're just being stubborn at that
That
point.
means
Wouldn't
I'm
it be like
stubborn.
3 to 12s, like so more than 2 and less than a dozen? Would that be like a few?
3 to
How-
12.
Yeah,
I might give them 13 because it's a baker's dozen because
Yeah.
it has to do with donuts.
I'll tell you this.
I would say between 3 and 10 is probably
When I do CS at
less
work
than
and I need to
10,
tell
more than
someone
3.
their package will be there in
gotta
2
be
weeks,
more than
I'll
2,
say it'll be
less
there
than 10.
in a few days.
A few days.
Yes.
A few days definitely can mean a week. A few days can definitely mean a week.
Yeah,
for sure.
The exact reason why I use that phrasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you admit that that's scummy to use that phrasing. Like the way you smiled insinuates that you are the Hamburglar.
You
for
have
using
to. I'm not
word
fucking
choice.
USPS. I don't know.
It's
Exactly.
the word. Hey,
Double speak
okay.
is my entire job, Frank.
See,
Frank,
do you see?
Frank.
Do you hear? Double speak is what he said.
Frank, I'm willing to admit that it's scummy, but it's still correct.
Zach, as a former community manager, how big is double speak in your job?
Well, that's more PR, I believe. But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to, you try to massage the words as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're doing stuff like when you have to do deliverables for people and you're afraid of you want to err on the side of caution. I think the word few gets used a lot. Like
Yeah.
few
It'll be
is
very
definitely
vague and open. Yeah.
yeah. Few is open enough.
Mhm.
So I've just been trained by corporate speak that few is more than 2.
Another one of my favorites is I'll say it'll be there the week of the 7th, which buys me 7 days.
Or 37 days.
Or yeah.
Yeah, whole next month.
Yeah. It's true.
Um,
So what do we want? We want to talk about Boba Fett?
Yeah. What about
Talk
that,
about
that N1 Starfighter, baby?
Once we talk about Moana, Zach's gonna be
Oh, yeah,
gone.
let's do
once
Moana
we're done
talk
talking about
first.
Moana, once the subject is done.
Moana or Boba Fett?
I'll stick with both that too. It's all right.
Okay.
I'm up to date on that.
So I just want to tell you guys, like, I know we have our own little chat thread and I send a lot of stuff to you, but for you, what was funny is when I was sending it to you guys, it was either something I already said to Travis or vice versa. I took what I said to you guys and then put it on Travis's thing. So I was having like 2 conversations at the same time. But what was really funny is when he was finally telling me his take on the episode was, I was mad the entire episode. I was like, this is some BS. And I said, I was simultaneously mad and happy. That was literally everything we want out of a Boba Fett show. A badass walks into a room, says cool shit like, I can bring you in cold or warm, makes no difference to me.
And then he said, I'll fuck you anyway.
Wastes folks, and then goes on a sci-fi shopping spree with his reward money. Why couldn't we just have that? Like when they said we were going to get a Boba Fett show, And his response was, Dennis, I have never agreed with you more than right now. If I was near you, I'd hug you. And then all caps, that's all we fucking wanted. This is why we can't have nice things. That was our experience watching that show.
It's like, yeah, I mean, The Mandalorian is the Boba Fett show people wanted. It even looks the fucking same.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you get muddy when you want to do an actual Boba Fett show. It's like, what do you do?
I'll tell you what you do. You don't explain anything. Just give insinuations. Maybe he's in the back of the tank and he just sees flashes of what happened in the Sarlacc pit. But you don't give anything definitive because then you open it up for stupid things later on. And
but
you don't play. I mentioned this last week or 2 weeks ago. You don't spin the wheel of random personality. You keep his personality fairly consistent with how he was in the original trilogy, where he's just all about the dollar, all about the hunt, and just getting the job done.
And I think that's the thing right there that's been a point of like contention and confusion for a lot of people. Is a lot of people are saying that toxic fans are projecting a lot of his personality onto what they wanted him to be, right? But it wasn't necessarily there. But I think when I heard the Mando say, I can bring you in cold or warm, makes no difference to me. That's the exact same feeling as I need him. You know, I like.
The way
He's worth a lot to
he
me
delivered
alive.
that
he's
line,
worth more
though.
to me. He's worth more to me alive. Yeah, or
Because he's oh good.
no, but I'm saying like
No.
it's a different intention, but it's the same tone, right?
Yeah.
And I think that said everything that us as children needed to know about Boba Fett. Is like Frank said, he cares about that dollar and he cares about getting the job done. And I don't think that makes us toxic for gleaming little bits of information from him. And then when we see the Mando do those things, we're like, that's so fucking cool. And then when we see Boba Fett show up for the first time in 30 years, and he's like, I want to be a crime lord. And
I'm
you're
the
like,
daimyo.
what is happening here?
I rule this crime with respect and not money.
Yeah. I
Give me
think the
Huggles.
problem is that you could make a Boba Fett that logically wants to do that. That's fine. But why couldn't we have him do the thing that he's always done
You want to
before
see him be shitty for a little bit.
for one season
Sure.
and then figure out this is not working for me anymore. You know what I mean?
Or yeah, or just have the arc be a little bit better. See it gradually happen as you go, whatever. But like we already have a good Boba Fett in the Mando. Mando is pretty much what we wanted from Boba Fett, just in general.
Plus more, right?
Plus more.
Plus we have the whole indoctrination of like being a religious zealot and stuff too, which is a whole other can of worms. Like that's extra and that's awesome. We never knew that Boba Fett wasn't supposed to take his mask off, but when we met the Mandalorian, we're like, whoa, shit! Does that apply to all of them? It can't, right?
Well, there's a lot of questions. We had a lot of
Yeah,
questions when that happened.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I think I'm a little off. I definitely like the Boba Fett show myself.
No,
I'm a fan.
get him, everyone.
I do like it.
All
I'm
right,
not going
that
to
Moana talk's going right out the window.
I hate it
Oh,
or shit on it.
Well,
like
no,
that.
I want to know what it is you like about it.
Yeah.
I just like I said, I didn't.
Before
I was
kill
more
you.
with like how Peacemaker. I didn't have any expectations. Like Boba Fett was a cool character from the old movies, but I didn't come into the show with any expectations. I do see kind of to your guys' point where like, I mean, I don't why he had this turn doesn't really seem too well explained from the show. I mean, he's kind of like maybe feels like they kind of left him for dead or kind of like abandoned him, obviously, but like I don't think that's explained very well at any point. Or like maybe he's more like he was saved by the Raiders or the Tuscans, but like it doesn't seem like who he was connected to that made him all of a sudden kind of a complete different personality. Doesn't it's not well played out yet. But I mean, I like the show
like
for what it is.
Fully grown man, right? Like he's so like him having
Definitely
them
fully grown.
him having them that one instance in his life change his entire fundamental opinion. It just seems like were you like in a state of arrested development, like really arrested? Because you're like, bro's like in his 50s, man. You know what I mean? Like he's not
Maybe it's
young.
a clone thing. Maybe it's a.
But he's supposed to be a perfect clone that ages normally. Remember?
Maybe he's a clone of a clone, like multiplicity.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot, actually, if he's a clone of a clone.
But you know what I mean? Like there is a story that could have been told that made us, like as fans of old Boba Fett, believe the story he's going on. But I don't think they did it in those first 4 episodes. They didn't. They just made it weird, and then they added in Power Ranger bikes. And like,
you know what would have been really cool is if it was like the teenage Boba Fett, like have the story exactly except for the Sarlacc, maybe some other kind of peril, and then have it be a teenage Boba Fett hanging out with the Tuscans and doing all that stuff, and then go to Tamora Morrison meeting up with Din Djarin and whatnot. Like have a pre untouched Boba Fett story that we haven't been in,
yeah, with a good actor.
With a good actor. Yes, please God, with a good actor.
Yeah.
And that was there hasn't been a flashback of him just kicking ass as Boba Fett Prime.
Days.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I feel like that would give you like perfect examples. The Ant-Man. You get the bits with Hank Pym as Ant-Man. You get to have those moments
and eat it too. You get to have the cake and eat it too, right?
Yeah. But they don't overstay it. You
even get the abusive Hank Pym for a second. You get a flash of that.
Yeah.
It's everything that you want in Ant-Man. Abuse and cool moments.
So like imagine if this week's episode was a flashback Boba Fett episode from from his prime doing a mission.
It's apparently last episode though. It wouldn't be a very good ending.
Yeah, but it would be in line with
resolved.
Disney's endings.
Yes.
It'd be in line with Luke Skywalker just saving the day, just coming in, swooping in and saving the
Oh,
day.
by the way, I had this awkward moment with Zach where he's the guy I warned you guys
Oh,
about.
okay.
He's the one that actually thought that was one of the greatest moments in TV.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
not gonna lie,
Right?
it was
I
a
love
great
it.
moment.
It's so
but
good.
in context with the show, in context with the storytelling of the show, it was ill fitting, but I think
But
the moment itself was awesome. Seeing that glove, seeing the green lightsaber light up, I love it.
yeah.
That's my favorite.
In the
lightsaber.
storytelling of Star Wars, though, the only person that would make sense to show up at that time is Luke.
Quinlan
But
Voss.
again, Ricky, you always miss the point of this argument. No one is arguing that. No one is arguing
I think
it.
Quinlan Voss would be a better fit. I think Mace Windu would have been a better
sorry,
fit. I
Frank
think.
is arguing that, but we weren't arguing it until you brought it up.
And now we're arguing it.
But what I'm saying is, I've never. I can't believe after all these times I still have to explain this. You do understand that I'm not mad that Luke shows up.
No,
right?
you're mad that it
It's
at
like
the
a
timing of
disservice
it
to
all
the
because
cast
it,
or the
yeah.
show. Yeah.
I'm mad that he shows up and cleans house because they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Mhm.
This entire group of badass women and the Mandalorian have suddenly forgotten all the skill sets they have and like how much better they were as a team marching in there. And now because some death troopers show up, they're like, well, we're fucked. I got nothing. I guess we just wait
think it
here
grounds
behind this
them in a
closed
bit,
door.
you know.
But like,
They're
I
not-
think the way that the show portrayed it, like he could really take out one Death Trooper. Like realistically, like,
Yeah.
I don't think they could have done much. All he has the dark saber now, but like I don't think they could have really the way the show played it up to that point. Like they would just
But
got
that's-
destroyed.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the show shouldn't have introduced something like that they couldn't handle
Yeah, I got you.
early on. You know, it's like if the Chekhov's gun kills you when you shoot it. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't. No, it's supposed to be there. They tease it through the whole season so that you're excited to finally see them face off against the Death Troopers. And then when you're finally given that moment, you're like, no, we can't do this. We can't fight these things. I give up. You know,
You're not even gonna open the door and try.
yeah,
You're
you're not even
gonna
gonna try. Like
Give it a
I wanted one of them to die.
You know,
like, I
you're-
wanted
you're
Casca
fucked.
Reeves
Like,
to die. You know,
It's like a Rogue One ending type of situation where
Yeah, like the desperation,
ca-
like they're doomed.
where they
basically.
still were trying as hard as they could to do
They
whatever they
tried to the
could.
last
no,
second.
but they
They were
did
gonna
their
try.
task, but they at the end it's what was it? What the fuck's his name? Andor. You can kind of tell
Cassian.
that they want to get out, but she just kind of looks at him like, dude, like
She's all, give me huggles.
yeah, give
Yeah,
me a
but
hug.
we're
Like
but
we're
but the entire place blew up. That's different from some bad guys are on the other side of your door. You know what I mean?
there are
Like,
some bad guys. They're death troopers who they just showed 10 minutes earlier that
That
will
what?
F him up. That they're
were
charged to
portrayed-
kill. They're
how did they show
Terminators.
that? How did they show that? Who did they kill?
What do you
Because
mean?
he could
They
barely take on one.
barely
He's, like,
took
on
easily
one.
the best fighter.
He barely took on one by himself, but
with
that
the
doesn't.
with a Beskar spear,
So
you know.
it's a spear against a robot.
Yeah, he had a -4 to using the dark saber, as we saw in the
It's-
last episode.
Yeah, that
It's
wasn't going
true.
to help him clearly.
where he rolled
Yeah,
like a
I'm
1.
saying, I'm saying why is it so unbelievable that just because he couldn't do it by himself, that they couldn't do it together?
I think
Just the numbers.
they probably
sheer
could have
numbers.
taken one out.
numbers.
or
Numbers.
Sheer numbers. They
But
outnumbered him.
then, so Dennis, if they went your way, where does Grogu go? Does he just stay around, or does the Jedi show up at the end randomly and take him?
Well, no,
No,
my,
Dennis's
my way,
rewrite includes everything. Dennis's
Yeah.
rewrite has it all.
Mephisto.
my way includes some
And
of them.
Ultron shows up, yeah.
My way includes some of them dying from the Death Troopers to show the consequence of the Death Troopers, to make them actually badass. Like Mando barely escaping with his life doesn't mean anything. Like that's literally every episode of the Mando.
Well, especially when the
That's-
episode of Boba Fett, he gets
yeah.
gets beat up by some random dudes, some dog people or whatever it was. Come on now.
Exactly. It doesn't. There's no significance to Mando barely escaping because that's the point of every episode.
Mhm.
So if
It shows
you're
how
gonna-
cruel and uncaring the galaxy is to Mando.
to people who don't have the Force, right?
To people
yeah,
who don't have the Force. Too.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I was more saying like the life of a bounty hunter. It shows how cruel
yeah,
and like uncaring it is.
especially. But so in what I was saying would have made it both impactful to fans of Star Wars, but also fans of the story of Mando and everything that season had built up, is have them make one last stand against the Death Troopers, have some casualties. Like, do you really give a fuck about Casca Reeves?
Yeah.
Like,
Is that Sasha Banks?
She's
Yes.
probably my
Yes, I
favorite
do.
character of the season.
good. Then that makes it more impactful if she
She's,
dies, right? It makes it cooler if she dies. Then you're like, God damn, that sucked.
I wrote some Casca Reeves fanfic that I sold to Hustler.
By the way,
Actually,
she's already announced that she's not coming back for season 3. So
Yeah,
Oh,
then
damn
fucking
it.
kill her.
she might as well have died. So I'm saying, like, then you have a death, you have it mean something, and then like when more of them are about to die, then have Luke show up. You know what I mean? So then at least they got to try. They got
No,
to try, and maybe they got to succeed at taking out some of the Death Troopers.
Or maybe have them mop up with the Death Troopers. Like they work hard, some of them die, they kill all the Death Troopers, and then a ship of like 50 Death Troopers comes out.
Sure.
And then they're all like, "Oh fuck,
And
it took
Captain
us
Marvel
fucking
just
so long
flies
to kill
through it,
10."
and they're gone.
Yeah, and then Captain Marvel flies through, and then like Mephisto jumps
Takes the whole
in.
ship out.
But I'm just saying, if you delay Luke by like 5 minutes, you get so much more of the impact. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, and you get to not have him rob them of their big moment at the end. Like, but you still get to have the satisfaction of having Luke come and clean up everything else that was still there on the station, and be badass, and then be shocked to see a Jedi arrive. You know, even though Mando literally met a Jedi like 2 episodes earlier.
That's different. He's not a legendary Jedi; he's just a Jedi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he just met a common class.
Ahsoka Tano is a legendary Jedi, bro.
Yeah.
Common.
She
Or
can
I'll
take-
give you
she
uncommon.
can-
She's uncommon.
She's not even
she-
a Jedi technically anymore, right?
No,
Or is
she's
she?
not. That's what
yeah,
makes her even cooler. That's why she's super legendary.
There you go.
She's
Negative
also
legendary.
she's also the only non-Jedi to actually stand up against Vader in a fight. All the
Yeah.
Jedi die.
Yeah, but Vader's too much of a wuss. He's a little sissy
Vader's
boy
a
when it
simp.
comes to
And
emotions.
that's isn't that his apprentice too? He's taking it easy on him probably.
He's
you know?
a total simp. He could have easily mopped up Luke.
Yeah.
He should have.
Well, for me too, like part of with like with the way they handled Luke on there, like I don't know your guys' opinion on the later trilogy, like the Skywalker saga ended up not being about Skywalkers, it'd be about Palpatine to me. It's like having Luke come back and have like some usefulness in that show was kind of cool. Like it was good to bring, I don't know, Luke as some more usefulness to him, I guess.
You know, the body double for him was the other X-wing pilot in this week's episode.
Oh, this episode?
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That's cool.
That was cool.
That's cool.
I don't like the face. Like he looked like a weird. I've said this before. He looks like a weird sex doll. Like he looks the way fucking Patrick Stewart looked at the end of Wolverine
Logan
X-Men
or
Origins
X-Men-
Wolverine.
X-Men,
Yeah.
Walking
That weird, like
a walking Patrick Stewart.
hairless
Well-
vinyl sex doll kind of thing.
You do know Patrick Stewart walks, right?
Yes, but in their fucked up
Professor X doesn't,
timeline,
though, okay?
Professor X does not walk in that moment
Yeah, he does not walk.
unless he's on drugs.
Fair.
Yeah, but he has hair at that moment too, right?
Yes, he does have hair. That's
Yeah,
it.
he has hair. Okay.
Yeah, I think for the show this week, like I said, that first silhouette is just cool as hell, though, just to see, like, it's Mando immediately, and like the music cues, and
Yeah.
that was just a great start to the episode. Yeah, it was
when he
really good.
says the line, he delivers it with like almost like he's like tired of saying it. You know, he delivers it a bit differently.
Which line?
Where I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. Where it's like
He delivers it the way a badass bounty hunter who's lived
like
his life.
he's
just-
almost annoyed that this dude's giving him grief because he.
yes.
Like, can't you see I'm a fucking Mando? Like, dude, like.
While also acting circles around Tamara Morrison within the first 2 minutes.
Exactly. That's the other thing. Like, so I know Zach, I know you like Boba Fett, but like, here's the thing. I've been saying for weeks now, and I know I sound like a bitter fan that's just like shitting on a guy without having any like chops to back it up. But I've been saying that the biggest problem with Boba Fett is Tamora Morrison is not a good actor. Like, he's not a strong enough actor to be the lead of a show. Right. And so here's my argument for it. Like, we watched an episode of Mandalorian this week where dude did like what he hurt himself with his own lightsaber. He patched a wound. He got a gift for his kid.
He limped through Halo.
he checked his bags before travel.
He activated a skull.
He went and did like a montage where he put together a ship,
He did a bunch of bitch shit, basically.
and he
That's what I'm
avoided
trying
a
to say.
speeding ticket. And I loved every single moment of it while he did the most mundane shit ever.
Like,
And
he could
that
have been
set-
doing his laundry, and it would have been cool.
exactly. And it's because that lead was so strong that I was willing to follow him anywhere.
He's
If
all.
I-
Wizard.
I told you the delicates to wash the delicates in cold.
Yeah. Every time I watch Boba Fett do the shit he's doing, I'm like, get this guy off the screen. He sucks so bad at it. dude. Like,
lead with fear.
and it's just and it's just about like he's always posing. Meanwhile, Mando just walks around like a normal dude wearing armor. You know what I mean? Like he's just, I don't know, everything about the composure. And I know that's not Pedro Pascal, like literally there all the time. That's
not him emoting.
that's a body double
Well,
that he collaborates with. You know, like they talk over the phone and they work out what they want to do. You know, with the character. So the two of them are playing Mando together, but between those two people, they fucking sell it to me every time. You know what I mean?
You know, it wouldn't be so bad if they went a different direction with Boba Fett. I think, like if they leaned into him being old and kind of tired, you know.
Yeah, but they're like trying to pretend he's not or something. You know what I mean? Like, but
They're
he's
trying to
always in a
pretend
back to
he's not fat.
take. Yeah,
Like,
and you know my favorite
he
part
looked a
about
lot better
this
in the show
episode-
though than when he was a Mando. He looked a little slimmed down. He looked a little better.
yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
my-
He does look like he has been working out with the Tuscans, like in the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
But when he showed up in Mando, it's supposed to be. Isn't that supposed to be after he?
Yeah,
meets
it's
up
in
with the
between
Tuscans?
kind of the flashbacks and now.
Yeah, so-
it doesn't
but
really
he's like-
make sense.
He's like ridiculously fat in Mando. Like he's
Yeah.
got the gut hanging out.
I'm not
over the
I'm
belly.
not body shaming this guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to body shame.
No,
but,
he
like,
looks good on the show now. I say you can
Like-
tell like he got ready
Yeah,
for
you
it.
got
He
an
looks
underwear
good.
scene. You better look good.
he
Yeah.
should-
Did you say underwear scene or did you mean four?
You mean 100% underwear scenes? He's basically an underwear model for Tatooine. Like he runs the Tatooine line of Calvin Klein.
He definitely got 4 underwear scenes, just to be clear.
So far.
Yeah,
so
I
far,
just think
yeah.
they
We
should
can know
they
them
should
next
have
week.
leaned into the oldness and leaned into kind of his old and being wise. You know, he fell
I
into a
wanted him to
fucking
be more
Sarlacc pit.
yeah, I wanted him
He-
to be more wise than
Yeah.
Mando, I think, at least.
I mean, he fell in
Yeah.
like a bitch, so
Yeah.
like
yeah, but he
exactly,
had
exactly.
and
And
he had
he
5
had time.
years to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. He had time to reflect on. He's all, fuck, man. Some blind dude knocked me into a Sarlacc pit, man. All right, I know what to do better next time. And then maybe next time he gets in the same situation and he like fucking ducks or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
He like does something like simple, you know, to kind of circumvent.
did you
that.
like Cobb Vanth's Boba Fett little backstory more than the action that you've seen so far?
Yes.
I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Cobb
yeah.
Vanth as Boba Fett was better than Boba Fett as Boba Fett.
When he uses
He-
the rocket.
He even yes.
Yes.
We talked
He
about,
even-
or you guys
yeah.
talked about that, like how he bends over like the toy, the awkward
Yeah.
bend over. I liked, and he looks skinny in that armor. And I'm not trying to like say like a skinny body type is better than a fat body type, but he looked like Boba Fett because of his thinness. He looked like the Boba Fett we all know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't mind a fat Boba Fett, to be clear, but I want them to like not treat a fat Boba Fett like fat people fight differently than skinny people.
It's
Fat
true.
people hit harder. Fat people are generally slower. But they have like skill. Like we watch Mike Tyson. If you see Mike Tyson go up against a skinny guy is gonna fight Mike Tyson. Bruce Lee's gonna fight Mike Tyson different than Mike Tyson fights Bruce Lee.
But honestly, just on the simplest level, that suit is covered with so much weaponry that he never uses.
Yeah.
Like Cobb Vanth has used more of the gadgets on Boba Fett than Boba Fett has. Like that's weird to me. That's weird to me that like, you know, like we got to learn about the whistling birds and the rising phoenix and
I mean,
all
did
these
Boba
different
Fett
cool things.
fight in the? He didn't ever really
Yes.
fight in the movies.
yes, he
You,
did.
you see his little whip
I
thorn,
guess,
you
yeah,
see
the
his
whip.
flamethrower.
He shoots
You
a
see
bolo, he shoots a flamethrower.
What
Yeah,
else?
he has a blaster gun, he has a rifle.
he has a rifle.
Why do you always say what else? Why is it never enough that we list examples for you? You always have to say what else?
No,
what else, what
I'm
else?
literally trying to think of like
A rocket pack.
he never uses the rocket in the movies,
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does he?
Yeah,
Yes.
he uses it to
It's,
fly from
projected
Jabba's
into the
barge
Sarlacc
to
pit.
He
So-
flies.
He
yeah,
uses
that-
the jetpack or uses the rocket?
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Jetpack.
Sorry.
Jetpack is what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying.
does. You're right. He does
No,
not use the rocket.
No. Cobb Vanth is the
Cobb
first
Vanth
time
uses
we
the
ever
rocket.
I
saw
know.
the
Yeah,
rocket.
yeah.
That's
Because
like
it was
a
based
wish,
on a toy from the 70s.
That's a wish fulfilled. Like
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth doing that was the thing that we always wanted to see. Boba Fett
I
do.
just feel like there's too big of a blank slate on a Boba Fett that I don't think you could ever please everyone with
don't-
this show.
You can. It's called the Mando. Like that's what I'm
No,
saying.
whereas
To-
Mando
to-
you
to-
can
to-
because Mando doesn't have that baggage.
I can agree with
but
Ricky
Mando
to a point.
has almost no baggage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying Boba had almost no baggage. That's what I'm saying. Like he had about like we were willing to accept if they would have named Mandalorian Boba Fett, we would have been fine with it. And
He had baggage as soon as they made the cautious decision to cast
give him
Tamora Morrison because he is the same character, or saying he looks the same as his dad. So when you do that,
they didn't have to though.
They didn't have to. I don't think you had to. But if they're going to go down that route, okay, so he's going to be taking off his helmet a lot. There's just limitations.
Which is such a Boba Fett thing to do, right?
You don't ever have to see Boba Fett's face in the show. They could have Mandalorianed it.
You don't,
and it would have been fine.
But when they cast Tamora Morrison, they're going to show his face. They could have just had a body double and use his voice.
We say that like Tamora Morrison's a big get.
No, but
it's
like, if you're going to go down that route, they made a choice to go down that lane.
Sure, but that wasn't a choice that had to be made.
No. But when you make the choice to cast Tamora Morrison, then you're going down that lane.
Yeah, you're 100% supporting my argument that Tamora Morrison is one of the main reasons this show sucks.
But if it was like just what he was in Mando, like it would have been fine, right? But when they start to build a whole story around him, that's where it kind of lost it. Like his brief part in Mandalorian fit because like it was just so simple and small.
I didn't love him on the Mandalorian.
I didn't think it fit too much, but I mean, I thought it was okay. It was cool to see him, and it was cool to see like a fat Boba Fett still be able to fight.
What I thought was weird was watching Boba Fett fight in Maori Haka. Well, you know what I mean? Like that. Like I didn't know that he did that. Like,
when I make the distinction between fat Boba Fett knowing how to fight, I'm treating it like kind of Thor, how they kind of body shamed fat Thor into making the audience think and making himself think that he's not worthy just because he's fat. Whereas Thor's worthy, and it's fine that Boba Fett's worthy. I think when you show someone visually on screen and they're fat, there's an implication that they're kind of useless. So when you see a fat person actually hold his own, I think that's really good.
That's for sure.
That's a very good thing. But I think a lot of the scenes that they show in the Boba Fett show actually depict it as kind of a bad thing. They kind of make him out to be a little weaker. The fact that like Black Chewbacca went in there and like totally owned his face, and he needed Gen Z and Fennec Shand to come in and help him out was kind of lame. I think they should have extended the fight out a little bit. Show Boba Fett being a badass for a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't show Boba Fett being circled by shields and not using his jetpack to get the fuck out of there.
The problem is Tamora Morrison has never earned the title Boba Fett. He's never earned it. He's earned Clone Trooper. You know what I mean? Like, but he's earned Jango Fett.
I liked him as Jango, actually.
But he's never earned Boba Fett. And so, like, I feel like what Frank is saying is right, is that we need to see him be that character. Like, I saw him do interesting things on the Mando, but they weren't Boba Fett things. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never seen Boba Fett fight with a stick. You know what I mean? Like,
so when he rides the Rancor next week, will you be impressed or not?
Heck no. So he was interesting. He was also interesting in Mando because in the Mando show, we didn't know how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. We didn't know any of the things that shaped him. We saw he had a gaffy stick. We didn't know how he got that. And it was like, oh shit, okay, how did he get this? What happened here? Why all this? Why is he different?
Would have been better.
Exactly.
All I kept thinking is like, wow, that was really easy for Mando to get your armor that's been there on the same planet as you for 5 years. Bro, why didn't you do that?
Yeah, like, that's thought it was still in the hole, right?
He didn't do much of a job to look for it because it was literally in the town, like down the street.
He just Bill
Like-
Paxton Titanicked it, and
You're
he
not.
didn't.
You're telling me you live on that planet for 5 years or however many years outside of the Starlight, and you never heard the tale of the marshal that wears Mandalorian armor?
They don't. The
Pelly heard the
creators don't
tale.
have emails.
Pelly
Well,
heard the
you know,
tale.
actually- really low tech.
Yeah.
He did hear about the tale because eventually he makes his way over there. That's how he encounters
Mando.
Mando. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's a little too late.
I mean he's a little too late. Yeah, but I mean like
Even though he had 5 years up on Mando,
he was too busy doing the electric slide with the Tuscans.
it was more important for him to steal the slave one or whatever it's called.
No,
now.
fire spray. The fire spray. Don't call it slave
Yeah.
one anymore.
Sorry, it's not called that
Don't
anymore.
call it that insensitive shit.
What do you guys hope happens at the end of the show? Like, how do you want it wrapped up? What do you hope gets resolved? Any kind of, I guess, wishful thinking for you guys?
Oh man.
I would like to find out that there's a butterfly inside Boba Fett's head,
I guess
and
I don't care.
and it
enough
got
to-
there by flying up his butt.
Yeah.
I don't care enough to have a prediction on Boba Fett. to
He'll
be
take
honest.
his spot, right? And I don't think Boba Fett's going away after this show. But
I would love if he did.
I hope they set him up for something like where he's not a reoccurring dude. Like maybe he pops up in Mando season 3 for one episode, but if you're gonna open the book on Boba Fett, I think you should close the book on Boba Fett.
Here's the real problem. I think.
Well said, Ricky. I like the way. I don't agree with it, but I like the way you said it, Ricky.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely think what helps is if you call it the Book of Boba Fett and then have an entire chapter of stuff happen where Boba Fett wasn't involved and I wouldn't know any of it that's going on at all. That totally makes sense to call
It's
that
his
the
book.
Book. Of Boba Fett.
It's
Yeah.
you can write
It's
what he
his
wants. in
book, but there's a whole chapter that's not about him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like
but no.
Watchmen. It's like those little chapters in between Watchmen.
Watchmen's called Watchmen, not
It's like about Guar,
not
like
Rorschach. It's not
the
called
Guar
Rorschach.
lady in Watchmen.
Yeah.
Like, what does she have to do with the story? Absolutely nothing.
I think the biggest problem with Boba Fett right now is that Mando exists. So I think the way to resolve this is one of them has to die. One of them has to die so that we can enjoy just one. Because part of the awesomeness of Boba Fett was his uniqueness, right? Like
Yeah.
when we first met him, we're like, what is that? And honestly, when they decided to go all in on Mandalore and the story of them in the Clone Wars, it muddied it made it less special. And same with Django. Django made it less special. Like the more and more we kept seeing that armor and the more and more we kept seeing other people do it, it got less special. So I appreciate that, like in this episode, we found out that Mando's religion's back down to just 3 people. That's it. That's all there is left. That's cool. Because I want to whittle this down to almost none. Because I want Boba Fett to be special.
Dennis wants genocide.
Well, the genocide already happened. The genocide happened before. But I want one of the 2 of them to die so
Did
that
you
they
okay.
can just do Boba Fett things. Because I think the Mando has been doing the job of Boba Fett for 2 seasons now. You know what I mean? And he's gone on stories that we wouldn't necessarily have expected to Boba Fett to go on, but we liked them, right? We like imagine if Boba Fett had found a little baby Yoda. What would he do? We don't know. And that's kind of like that was the fun of the whole show is what would this person do in this situation? Because we know very little about him. And I could still do that. I could be happy with Boba Fett ending this stupid story arc by saying, you know what? This fucking sucks being a crime lord. I'm going to go back to bounty hunting. And then, cool, do that. You know what I mean? I don't want Godfather. I don't want Godfather Boba Fett. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Did you guys see the bits of Star Wars 1313 that came out this week?
Nah.
No.
So Star Wars 1313 was that game they announced at E3 like 10 years ago.
It was a few years ago.
But it never got past, I think, that initial trailer. But it's kind of come out since then that was a Boba Fett game where you're kind of working on getting his armor. But some footage of the gameplay as Boba Fett came out. It looks kind of cool.
You get the crotch armor at least, because Mando.
Mhm.
I was so worried about his junk in that episode.
Such a
like, Mando,
glorious
you gotta watch out.
codpiece.
No codpiece. He just had pants and like just kind of like shin guards and like quad guards, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Every
Like at
time
least
I
put a
see
butt
his,
guard in there. You
He
can
needs
get
more
shot in the
Beskar,
booty.
you know.
every
Yeah.
time I see his and Boba Fett's armor, I'm like, you guys aren't rocking enough. Even Batman wears more armor than this, guys. Like that's like
Yeah.
he wears way more than this. So,
At least wear a plastic cup.
yeah, for reals.
Speaking of Tamora Morrison, though, how did you like him in Moana as the overprotective father?
Was that him?
Yeah,
Oh man, he was great.
he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't
More of that.
remember him at all. That because that character, I do remember saying to myself, "Oh, this sucks. This guy sucks."
He takes her to the
You're all-
top.
this
She
guy-
puts a stone.
Dude, I know. Like
And he
every
accepts
time
her in
I,
the end, okay?
every time I'm aware that Tamora Morrison is there, I lower my expectations slightly,
Oh no!
and then I hope that he's gone soon. And thankfully, in that movie, he is gone soon, and then you never have to worry about him. And then the movie gets awesome. The second she leaves that island, that movie's awesome.
The beginning, the opening number is amazing too. Let's not pretend like the opening song's
Yeah.
not great, you know?
Yeah, the one where he sings in it, right?
Yeah. Maybe Boba Fett needs more singing.
That's what's missing.
Yeah.
It needs to be
Big
him
dance
going,
number.
hey, hey, hey. No, I love the Tafiti opening. I like when it does the volcano. It sets that all up, and then Maui has to kind of go through it. It's kind of more Maui's movie than it is Moana's movie at a certain point. I think Maui's the more interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
rock.
Moana's pretty sidelined. What's up?
It's rock. That's why.
So I need to clarify something because we are resuming a conversation that happened in the pre-show of our other show. And so anybody who is joining us like late or you know, like to watch the show, they don't have some of the context. The reason we're talking about Moana is because Zach seems to believe that it has the best music of any Disney movie ever. That is a bold statement, man. Frank says it's Mary Poppins. I say it's Lion King. Ricky, what do you think? Tron?
Well, I mean, you want to talk the best music ever in a Disney movie? Then Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy. I knew he was going to say Tron
Yeah.
Legacy.
That's not
That's
even
why
a
I already
question.
said it. That's
But,
why I already said it.
The guy that did the score from Moana also helped with the score of The Lion King. So take that as you will.
Yeah,
Mark-
that's fine. The guy who helped with the score of Frozen also helped with Moana.
Mark Mancina.
Shiny is good. You're Welcome is better. I don't necessarily love How Far I'll Grow.
Well, wait.
Okay.
How are we rating the music though? Are we rating it just by personal, like subjective, like subjective likes and dislikes, or are we rating it like objectively, like
That's definitely what
complexity?
Ricky's doing.
How are we rating it?
Just greatness in general.
General greatness.
Well,
was,
General
for
greatness.
Zach's thing, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Lin-Manuel.
So
definitely one
where
of the
does
greatest
Encanto music rank above or below
It
Moana?
didn't get me. I've only watched it once, so it might get better. but
I
it didn't
honestly
get
think
me as much.
I honestly think the music in Encanto is better than Moana.
You get the hell out of here, Dennis.
I love it. Like I actually feel emotions when I listen to the Encanto music.
Are we
Coco
talking the-
had better music than Encanto, so Coco would be above Encanto in my personal opinion.
That's racist. That
I'll
now
agree.
you're just comparing those two movies. Okay,
You can't compare two Mexican movies.
Yeah, you can't
Well,
do that.
Encanto's not Mexican; it's Colombian.
Exactly. Yeah,
I
Mexican.
think
Mexican-ish.
Coco's one song might be better than most songs in Encanto, but I don't
Remember
think
Me?
that. Yes,
I think "Remember Me" is a good song. Period.
I don't know. Dos
Yeah,
Oreguitas are pretty
well,
damn
like,
good.
Let
That's
me finish.
That
what
song
I'm saying.
transcends Disney.
But what I'm saying is, what are the other good songs in Coco?
Un Poco Loco.
Oh, came out.
You're crazy. That's my point though. Is Coco has one really good song, like Frozen has one really good song, but I don't think either of those should be on the same level as like Encanto or Lion King or or even Moana. Moana has more good songs. You know, that's not actually a diss at Moana.
Is the kid from Home
I'm
Improvement
not saying
singing?
Moana
Wait,
is a bad.
are we
is a bad
only
one.
counting the sung songs, or are we counting the score too?
I don't know.
Because I'm still like on board with you, like with Lion King, because Lion King has an amazing score also.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
my
it's not-
thing.
I could listen to
so
the score all day too. Sorry.
my origin story for this argument is Frozen got this amazing credit as being this amazing Disney musical, but like the second half of the movie has no musical numbers at all. So like for me, Moana is more of a musical movie throughout the whole movie. So that's where my
fair.
whole thing comes from.
That's
So
fair.
like that's where I
It is.
base it off of. It is based like the music is more tied into the actual story, and there is actually more like actual singing numbers throughout the whole movie.
But in that case, I definitely think Lion King wins that because the entire movie, every song matters to the story.
Yeah.
There's not really anything at the end of the movie, is there? So kind of like
Are
same
you
thing as
excited
Frozen.
for
It
the
doesn't.
Lion King 2?
Yeah, when he's going up to roar, it does that musical swell down where they're singing in Swahili in the background.
It does the
True.
does
And
the
like
song.
Simba goes to take his place amongst the, and then
Yeah.
it ends with the reprise of the circle of life.
Exactly. If it didn't have singing at the end, it wouldn't be like one of the biggest things on Broadway. Okay.
All right, I'm
Just saying.
pitching this. All right, we remake Lion King. Lin-Manuel Miranda writes all the music for it. Solves the
Well,
problem right there.
The
You don't have
problem
to
is
rewrite
he'll
the
do like a
music
little
just
rappy
like-
thing with Scar. Like he'll make Scar do a rap of some sort.
Scar rap.
I'd actually be okay with a Scar rap.
You want a Scar rap?
As long as it's still Jeremy Irons, okay?
Yeah. As long as it's still Jeremy Irons.
Who voiced him in the
Did Jeremy
movie?
Irons pass away? Is he still alive?
He still he was Alfred in the last Batman, right?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was. Yeah.
Yeah, they are making a Lion King 2 live action.
He's also
Oh, they're still making that?
Adrian
That movie made like $1 billion, didn't it?
Yeah,
he's
I'm not liking the live action movies myself. They
he's
don't really do it.
Ozymandias in Watchmen. Frank?
What?
I didn't know they got the same Ozymandias
Jeremy
in the
Irons.
TV show.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the TV show yet.
Still Frank?
No, man.
I haven't either.
I couldn't get it. I started watching it and I'm all like, I can't get into
Wait,
this, man.
did you watch Eternals yet?
I did not.
The fuck's wrong with you?
You're not missing much.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
Just
like
stare at a
Eternals.
wall for like 3 hours, you know?
I like that movie a lot. I like it better than Boba Fett. That's for damn sure.
How dare you?
Eternals is better than Boba Fett on the.
Hell yeah.
I've been watching
it's
Cloak
better
and
than Boba
Dagger,
Fett.
and actually, I'm.
That's
liking it.
better than Eternals.
I mean,
Just
speaking of
they're
Disney Plus,
only season one. Only season one.
Oh, and
I
Schitt's
don't-
Creek. I've been watching Schitt's Creek a lot too. So Schitt's Creek is
That's also better than Eternals.
that's a weird one. It's like an unfunny Scrubs. It's not funny to me. I'm interested in watching it, but the emotional parts hit, and they hit really well. And
The
I think
emotional
that's
parts hit
why
really
I'm
well.
watching it. I don't laugh. I can count on one hand. I can count a few times. And by a few, I mean I'm actually using a few to be less than 5 in this case. I can count on one hand how many times I've laughed out loud during Schitt's Creek. But like I'm such a junkie for that show. I don't know why.
Because it's an amazing show.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree. I can't verbalize why. It's not funny. It's sure as fuck not funny.
A small number of. That's what a few means.
Small number of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that assessment.
So example, the minority of the people. Like art is not just for the few. And I think when they say that, they don't necessarily mean 3.
I think they just said less than majority. That's quite a lot then.
Yeah.
So it's what, like 3.5
Yeah.
billion or something.
If we append the assessment that Moana is the best, if we say that it's the best,
I'm
3D,
going your side, Frank. I see you. No.
3D computer animated musical, I would agree with you 100%. I think the problem is like
Didn't Lion King have 3D animation? Wasn't the first one to do it?
no, like fully
Like
3D,
fully,
fully
okay,
3D.
okay.
Animated 3D, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess so. We could all have our
If we
cake
say
and
like
eat it, too.
2D animation, I think Lion King's the best.
So
Aladdin's pretty good too.
I don't even know about Moana being the best in 3D. Like, I'm not sure. Like, because I do like You're Welcome and I like the other song, but
Shiny?
no,
Or
I don't like Shiny.
away.
I fall
I love that
asleep. I
Yeah,
fall
that's
asleep
amazing.
every time Shiny plays.
Really?
I do.
Oh man,
There's
I
some-
love that song. That song is fantastic.
I don't.
I
like
just
Shiny.
that scene bores me, and I just fall asleep in it every time.
I would say for me,
Uh,
Shiny is the low point for me on the music.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, really
David
is.
The,
Bowie
the
ripoff,
construction and then the
bootleg.
chord play and the way it resolves, it's so fucking amazing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
It's they said low point, still okay, but definitely low point.
But my favorite one is the
I'm
the
trying to
one where
back you
she's-
up, Zach. I'm
where
trying to help
she's-
you. And you just
where
crap
she-
on me.
Well, I'm saying
blah,
that's the
blah,
worst of
blah.
it, though. You know, like the rest of it's just amazing if that's the worst.
I mean, if you don't even know the lyrics, how's it your
How far I'll go? How far
Yeah,
I'll go?
how far I'll
That's
go.
that song.
Yeah.
By the way, I got
the
to
water.
I got to hear her perform that live, like at D23. Like they brought her out to perform for us.
Oh,
my
what's her name? Fucking
God.
Aluli Baluli.
That's
that-
a lot, right?
thing.
That was one of the most amazing performances I've ever heard in my life. It was I cried a little bit listening to her sing that because she was so powerful. But yeah, I still don't know that movie like is all like has all bangers for me. Like I'd rather-
Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure is a better musical than High School Musical is a
Oh,
better
no.
musical than Moana.
3D animated. 3D animated though.
I
3D
would
animated.
say Encanto, man. Encanto or Coco. Encanto
I mean,
or
Lin
Coco.
Manuel's still involved with Encanto, so I can't be too
I
hurt by that.
Encanto,
but still.
Encanto
hate
has so
Lin-Manuel's
many good
singing.
songs.
I hate his singing.
Yeah,
I like
he
his
doesn't
songs.
Sing, he doesn't sing in that movie, so
I
you're
know-
fine.
But you said yourself that you didn't like how Lin-Manuel that it got in Encanto. You said that there were certain aspects of it that you weren't fully on board with the soundtrack.
Yeah,
But like,
but
how
there's
do you-
there's so many good songs that I'm willing to overlook the one or two.
you can't just throw
Every-
spaghetti against the
every-
wall and then hope
Every
something
musical,
sticks.
every musical has some that I don't like.
You know which one?
Every
I'm gonna drop
musical
it to you
does.
right
It's
now.
just- it's just
Okay,
fact.
so we're just going subjective likes and
The
dislikes.
Disney short Lava
Well, the
has some
second
of
you
the
brought
best
that up,
music.
I mean, Frank, the second you brought up my opinion of Lin-Manuelness, that's subjective already. So
Mhm.
you're using my subjectivity to
No, I'm
discount-
saying that, but I'm just confirming that it's all subjective.
I mean, of course it is. Like, I don't have art degrees or music degrees like you do, man. Like, like, what do you want from me? I'm not gonna
Well,
win
I
this.
was
if
just
we're
trying.
gonna-
I was just trying to figure out how we were rating it because I brought up
It sound
subjectivity
good.
earlier, but like it was kind of swept under the rug. So I was
yeah, which ones
kinda
are
saying-
pleasing to my ears is
Yeah.
really what it
Lava,
comes down
the
to.
Disney short, is
Like,
probably some of my favorite music because I sing it with my partner, and it's great.
but I think the
I
fact
really
that
even
like
have music in there.
I think the fact that
he has a song.
Encanto has
Oh, okay.
several songs all at once, like topping the charts, says a lot about that movie's music. You know what I mean? What does
Yeah.
that mean, Ricky? Like,
No, I agree. I agree with Ricky. What I think Ricky's head bob means. is
It's
what I agree
relevant
with,
right
I
now.
think.
Of course, it's gonna be top in the charts.
Exactly. Yeah. Same with
Kanye's
Avengers
not
Endgame. That
dropping
was
an
topping
album
a
right
lot
now.
of charts
Of
too.
course, it's gonna top. In 2 weeks, when the new Kanye album comes out, that shit's gonna drop.
yeah, but it's not like
Yeah,
every.
but
like,
then that'll
it's
be
not
the
like,
best Disney movie.
But you're missing the point. Like I'm saying, multiple songs are topping the charts at once. When Frozen came out, how many of Frozen's songs were topping the charts?
The sandwiches song.
What are you talking
The
about?
think again, right? We finished each other's sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
think
one.
Yeah,
I
they
think
knew what I was
Ricky's
talking
the
about.
best at making my points for me.
I would also like to throw out, guys. Tangled has some good numbers in there too.
I've
I know
actually
it's,
never seen Tangled.
It's
Tangled's
okay.
pretty
That's
good.
not great.
It does. I don't remember any of them.
Yeah, there's just Mandy Moore was in, right? She's a pretty good singer.
Yeah.
back
I
then,
got
you
a
know?
dream. I got a
The number one
dream,
song
and I ain't as cruel as
in
fishes on a
Spotify
stone.
is We Don't Talk About Bruno. The number 4 song is Surface Pressure.
Yeah.
The number 12 song is Family Madrigal.
Yeah.
Surface pressure.
Number 16 is What Else Can I Do? 29, Waiting on a Miracle. So it's doing
I'm-
okay.
Well, shut the fuck up, Ricky.
Doing all right.
Why do you always have to say stupid shit? Like
could be
that's
worse.
so many songs. That's
Could
so
be
many.
worse.
Frank Ocean's Lost, a song that's been released for 5 years at this point, is ahead on one.
I don't care where. I don't care where they are. Like as long as they're in the top of the charts is my point.
But I
That's
mean,
what
if it's if we're talking subjectively, then Coco or not Coco, Encanto already won with you. Like the fact that they're topping the charts, that's not your opinion. That's other people's opinions.
Mhm.
No,
saying that it tops the charts.
what I'm saying is like I'm using that as a baseline for like, yes, I am speaking subjectively, but objectively, it appears a lot of people agree with me, more than a few.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
mean, we
saying
got to
the
check
major-
to see all-time numbers. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
the real
but also
telltale.
like Lion King won Grammys and shit too. Lion King won
Yeah.
awards also.
Right, and Encanto hasn't had the chance to win Emmys yet, or Grammys yet. Like,
But will it? Because it's Mexican. It's not gonna win because it's
Oh my
Mexican.
God.
okay, now you're just all over the place. If you think Encanto's not going to win, if you think Encanto's not going to win awards,
subjectively, Encanto already won the award, so like, there's no need to bring up, or subjectively, Encanto already won your opinion. So
I would
there's
be
no need
really
to bring
surprised
up, like,
on what
awards.
song from Encanto gets the best
I'm saying
original song nomination.
I don't understand why we're saying subjectively it already won my opinion. I thought the point of this conversation was that we were all sharing our opinion about which one
That's
is
what I'm saying.
better.
You already shared your opinion, and then you went on to mash home that Encanto was topping charts.
Oh, well, that's because
all over
Ricky
the
keeps
place.
saying stupid shit.
Oh,
Well, mine was actually a fact that Moana's the best. I wasn't.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh
fact.
yeah,
there-
Zach's
see,
was
there you
fact,
go.
yeah.
I went to
I'd go so far
Hawaii
to say Zach's was scripture.
shortly after Moana came out, and it was very uncomfortable, the subtle racism of all the children there.
Get out of here, Howley.
Oh, this is Moana. It's like, oh no, don't say that, child.
Oh shit.
That's what's the rock's name? Maui. Like this.
Maui.
Mom, that's Maui. Oh no, don't say that, child, please.
Yeah.
the 3D movies, and I think Moana had the best soundtrack, but I like the construction of it, and I think that's a lot to do with like Jermaine Clement.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna.
I feel like Moana is the biggest departure.
Remove me, Ricky.
From the classic Disney.
Remove me, Ricky.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I was saying. Like,
it's not your normal,
the titular character is sidelined to actually follow this demigod. Like, you are seeing this demigod's evolution and arc through the lens of Moana, who is also like good in her own right, but the story mostly revolves around Maui and his redemption.
Yeah, well, like I think you're feeling like the structure for me, like it does how it like builds on songs. Like I said, I'm a big fan of like musicals, and I seen Hamilton 3 times. This soundtrack probably 1,000 times. And like the way the structure in Moana works, where like the songs kind of come back together later on, and like it does a better job of like tying them together. But I don't know if you guys mind switching topics. I don't know if you guys talk much about Doctor Strange or anything. Like, what are you guys thinking that's going to be? Any sort of like, what do you guys think? What are you guys hoping for?
I'm hoping for like a Loki-esque kind of variant fest. I just want to see variant.
Yeah, basically that, but with money thrown in. So give me the weird. I know one pie in the sky like fan thing is like, let's get an Iron Man variant with Tom Cruise. Like, do it. Drop the money. Get Tom Cruise in there for 5 minutes on a green screen. Like, give me 10 of those level cameos in that movie. I think you could do some really weird stuff with it, and I hope they get weird with it.
And like, are you guys buying the John Krasinski Mr. Fantastic? Is that like a lock, or what do you guys think?
I like it because I don't think we're gonna get Mr. Fantastic or John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that they're kind of giving us our cake and letting us eat it too.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get whoever they get for Mr. Fantastic, but for this one movie, we're getting who we want as Mr. Fantastic. As Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a little sampler.
Yeah.
If it works out, then you can just stick with it, right?
True. Yeah.
Like
if it works out incredibly well, like if it's well received, then that's their way of like kind of testing it. But if not, then yeah.
If they're finally like, is this where they finally bring mutants into? It's just so weird that we've had like 7 different multiverse events now.
Some leak stuff if you want to.
If
you want to know.
Ricky's got some leak stuff.
As vague as I can keep that.
Yeah.
I hope they get weird. And I'm glad to finally get a movie that'll push the bigger story forward. Like I felt like Spider-Man kind of did, but is
But
for
it just
most of
resets
it,
again, you know?
yeah, it's very self-contained in a lot of ways. Where this movie feels like it's going to be pushing the entire MCU narrative forward, like Loki did. You know,
Or like the Eternals did.
well, the Eternals are kind of their own thing for right now.
Dude, what happens at the end,
At the
which we're not
end's
going to
pretty
spoil,
big, but we haven't
that
seen the
pushes
ramifications.
the MC. Well, exactly.
Frank, earmuffs,
but
Frank. though.
but it pushes it
I-
forward, Ricky.
I
You don't get
totally
to see
don't
the
care about Eternals.
You don't get to see the ramifications of Doctor Strange until later.
But Ghost Rider's at the end, Frank. Ghost Rider's
Yeah.
there.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So
Then Maui shows up.
yeah.
No, I'm saying-
hidden
No,
Eternal.
actually, I was always saying
more
that.
than-
Like, I never really cared. Well, the other two have heard this, but I've never really cared about Marvel space stuff in the comics. So it's never something I was invested in. I always thought DC did stuff like that better, and that's where I'd go to enjoy like a Green Lantern or like Darkseid and all the weird like otherworldly shit. Was like DC had my thing. Lobo.
Frank,
Like-
a giant celestial bigger than Galactus comes to planet Earth, and everybody on Earth can look up in the sky and see it. But it's not a stupid cloud of smoke like it's not a cloud of smoke like in Fantastic Four.
What was that whitest kids you know?
Yeah.
The slow jerk.
But I'm saying like that, like we up until then, all we've been seeing is how people react to the snap. I'm waiting for the movie that tells us how the world now reacts to that thing in the
the
sky.
big giant thing.
Yeah, to the big giant thing that came in and just fucking did whatever it wanted and then left. And it's terrifying, you know? So like I get what Ricky's saying is that like Doctor Strange could potentially move the story forward more, but like until we address that elephant in the room, the story is not moving forward again. You know what I mean? Because the story has been stuck on multiverse for like this whole past year. And that's fine. I'm fine with multiverse fun. It's cool. You know, Loki was fun. What If fun. Doing more stuff with WandaVision's, could be cool. Doing more Spider-Man stuff. The rumor is Tobey Maguire might show up again
In multiverse.
but these are all fun things, but I don't think they push the story forward. So I'm interested to see what could push the story forward. But like right now, of the movies that have come out, Eternals had the ending that is the most what the fuck, you know what I mean? How do they deal with that? Because you can't argue, like everybody saw it, and that's
Not
crazy.
the people on the other hemisphere.
Yeah, if it was nighttime.
It's called
too,
the news, Ricky. It's called the news.
No, I heard fake news.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can fake that deep state,
Yeah, have you seen the people that don't believe that the Earth is round? I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen the people that didn't believe the comet would hit in that movie?
My cousin photoshopped that.
I promise you, the Avengers are going to believe that happened, whether or not they were awake when it happened.
What Avengers?
Yeah, the Young Avengers,
The
the,
ones
New
you don't
Avengers,
know
which
about.
ones? Okay.
Okay.
The Secret Avengers? Moon
Yeah,
Knight? That's Moon
Exactly. Yeah.
Knight. Moon Knight and Sharon Carter. Perfect.
Yeah. By the way, I heard you turn that game on. You can't even hide that.
No, that's my heater.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard a PlayStation turn on.
It has the same beat.
Remember,
Yeah,
he'd be
every
going.
time
You'd
that's
hear
the
the snap. He'd be going Pokemon. You'd hear the snap right now.
Yeah,
Let's
you'd
go
hear-
gaming.
Yeah. I think for Doctor Strange, like I don't have a lot of expectation because I actually don't expect it to push the story forward a lot, but I do expect it to be fun in the same way that Spider-Man was. So like
Yeah.
I lowered my bar for Spider-Man before I went in, and it helped me enjoy it a lot. And I think I'm trying to keep that a similar but slightly higher bar for Doctor Strange. But it's unfair to have the bar higher because honestly, his movie's not like great. His first movie, like it's good. It's Iron Man with magic, you know what I mean? But like it's not really like the one I go back to watch all the time. And so I know this will be better than that just because that's generally Marvel's deal, like with the exception of Thor. Usually the second one's at least as fun as the first one. So it'll be fun, but I don't know what the story is gonna do other than stuff with Wanda,
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
for
Wanda
me, it's
stuff.
just weird. All like having so many multiverse things just seems weird to me. Like it's weird having 4 different things create a multiverse and still nothing's happening with it still overall. So I
Yeah,
just hope it
if
actually does push something
if
finally.
yeah, if they lean into the multiverse this much, I need for something actually meaningful to come out of it, besides Peter Parker becoming the Spider-Man that he's supposed to be. You know, like that feels like too much effort went into just making Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like something else needs to come from that.
Like
So
Howard the Duck as president, something cool.
That'd be
I'm not
sweet.
opposed. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be nice if this is either the back door for the Fantastic Four or the mutants somehow. But I don't need it to be. I'm just saying, like, I know Marvel likes to have everything have some connective tissue.
Yeah.
I saw a guy on TikTok that had like a 3-minute topic about like how he would want to see the mutants and the X-Men story told, and it was like cute and like fun listening to it, but like at the same time I'm like, you miss the fundamental thing that Marvel will do, which is find a way to integrate it into all the other things, because if it doesn't connect, that's when people get upset. And I think that's the problem that people have with the Eternals, is it tries to be its own thing for so much of the movie that upset people a lot, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I liked it. I liked it for doing that. And I would like the X-Men if they chose to just go completely separate, and do something different. But it would be nice if all the toys play together at some point,
But yeah. Well, it's not like like Deadpool's going to be like not really connected and still connected. So like they're already going to kind of do that anyways. So just weird that
Unless
like the
Doctor
X-Men
Strange brings
will.
Deadpool in, which is a rumor.
Whatever way you do it, you're gonna rip the Band-Aid for somebody, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
it's gonna be rough. But once you do it, though, you're done.
Yeah, like that's why I think a lot of Marvel fans have been waiting for the Band-Aid on the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to just be fucking ripped. Because once that Band-Aid's ripped, we're finally ready to play with all the toys. Like they've even set up the Namor thing. That's already retroactively in there. You know what I mean? Like if you want to believe that those earthquakes that they were talking about in Endgame were Namor, that's cool. If you want to believe it's Eternals, that's cool too. But there's nothing that says it can't be both.
What if you want to believe it's Richter or Avalanche? Richter
Sure.
and Avalanche.
Sure, exactly. But like, just pull on the threads. Like Frank and I always joke about like where there's still a goddamn thread that they never pulled on, which is Cyborg Thor.
Freaking Ragnarok,
Like,
yeah.
and they set that thread up there, in Avengers, and then they never ever pulled on it. And so like I just like watching them go back and gently, tug on these threads. Gently pulling on these threads. So just keep doing that, and then that makes everything more integrated together. So yeah. What else you got?
I don't know. Yeah, if you guys talk the Batman much, but what the weird thing to me is how they've supposedly tested the version with the guy playing the Joker in the movie. Does that seem kind of just silly to you guys, be this far along and like still thinking like maybe we throw the Joker into this movie? It just seems kind of weird, right?
For something of that
not
size,
for
no.
DC, unfortunately.
Yeah,
not for DC, but for something for like, I feel like Batman, I don't say it transcends DC, but that's a big movie character at this point. It's like a Spider-Man. So checking that box, I get why they would want to do it. I don't know. I'm always down for another Joker, but
yeah,
I'm excited. I really like the teaser stuff that they showed from this one, and I like the kind of Saw aspect they're kind of going with the Riddler. I think it's pretty cool. It's exciting that we're going to see like a detective Batman, for once.
Well, yeah. So the trick with the Riddler, which I think is cool, is that the implication is that in this story, nobody knows he's Edward Nygma yet. You know what I mean? And so like I'm fine with him by the end of the story if everyone knows the Riddler's Edward Nygma. That then the next time you see him, now he's like, well, fuck it, I don't need a mask anymore. And then then
The
I can wear
cane.
the bowler hat and the jacket, you know, like, or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like
the light up jacket.
I'm totally fine with him looking the way he does, where he's completely covered from head to toe. Like, it's cool. Like, I get it. You know, anonymity is a thing until it's not a thing. So,
It
yeah.
seems like they're gonna get more into Bruce Wayne's trauma and how fucked up it is for like a dude dressed up as Batman to go beat up dudes. Like, I'm excited to to get kind of more in the nitty gritty, more so than the Nolan stuff did. But I mean,
I'm honestly not excited for the nitty gritty because I know what the nitty gritty means. Like, that everybody thinks grounded in reality is like the Batman we all want to see. But like, dude, like I was saying earlier, anybody who's a fucking billionaire, they're so far removed from our reality that it's just like ridiculous. So like, I want the supernatural. I want all the stuff Batman deals with that the movies have been afraid to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the stupid Killer Croc we got in Suicide Squad. I want real Killer Croc. You know, like, it's just ginormous. I want Etrigan. I want like all the stuff that they've just been afraid to, because every single person thinks that Batman is only capable of dealing with real world threats. No, what makes Batman awesome is that he deals with shit way out of his weight class.
well, let's gauge his
Way out.
Zach's baseline here. Like, did you like anything about the Ben Affleck Batman?
Yeah, I mean, he was good as it. I mean, he was fine. I don't know. The story wasn't great. I didn't like that. Like you were saying, like he's supposed to be the greatest detective. He couldn't figure out the name of a boat in a harbor. That was kind of weird. Like, he couldn't connect the dots of like the name of a boat. That was kind of like, all right, doesn't seem like Batman to me.
Punch that in the back computer.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't like it much. I mean, I like that if the Flash movie does kind of tie a bunch of stuff together and kind of if it works well. But I mean, so far nothing they've done has worked that well, so other than James Gunn stuff. So it'd be nice to see.
I liked his fighting. I really liked how he was. I mean, he was a big dude. He was probably like the buffest Batman that we've gotten, but he fought like a buff Batman. He was pretty brawly, but still he had that's the thing. There was a fluidness to his fighting though that was really neat too.
The thing is, though, Batman is always buff in the comics, but he fights in a way that does not suggest it's buff dude. Like, he is the most acrobatic fighter that you would never expect a dude that's like as big as he is to fight like. And that's the thing. Like, I did like that one flip that Joss Whedon added. Like that weird backflip that he did.
Yeah, the backflip.
Yeah. I like that because I was like, yeah, that's stuff Batman should be doing that he doesn't do. And that made me really sad to know that was a Whedon thing and not a Zack Snyder thing. It's like, why wouldn't you want Batman to do more aerial maneuvering? So like, I kind of didn't like the sluggish like fighting that Ben Affleck was doing in that movie, because it just felt like it didn't feel Batman to me. It felt like a thug.
He did the grapple shot a lot. I like that. I really enjoyed that.
The grapple's cool.
You don't see a lot of that in the movies. You see Keaton doing it like a couple times, but he doesn't really. I guess he's not really overly reliant on it the way Ben Affleck was. But I liked it. I liked how Ben Affleck used it to be more agile, to kind of outmaneuver his opponents in both the Snyder cut and the Whedon cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was jacked. He didn't fight like a jacked person at all. He fought like a murderer. He fought like someone who says spider blood.
Yeah, he was just a filthy murderer, and that's why I don't like him in that movie. And that's why, as I've gotten older, it's harder for me to enjoy Michael Keaton, and and to a lesser extent the other ones. Like, I like Bale the most because that was the thesis of that story, is like, hey, let's explore his relationship to death and murder, and let's just do 3 movies about that. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And we can definitely nitpick about the different moments where he may have faltered, for sure, but at least it had a thesis, right? Like, that it was trying to make an argument about, and that's what made those 3 movies really special. Whereas like Tim Burton was just trying to celebrate the fantasy of being Batman, and I can appreciate that. And to a lesser extent, or to a greater extent, depending on how your flavor. Joel Schumacher was too, right? He was just exploring the fantasy.
It was like Adam West Batman dialed to 11, you know.
Yeah, but like I
But that's
definitely
fine. Like,
But
I
that's
think
all
we
you
should,
knew at the time, you know.
But
no,
but
but we should have a Batman like that.
Yeah.
There's a reason Adam West Batman is like that, and that's because the comic book Batman was no less like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the comic book Batman was probably weirder because you had like imps from fucking the fourth dimension and shit. Like,
yeah, but what
that's
we
bonkers.
haven't gotten is like kind of the same thing as like, you know, our thing that we always wanted as Spider-Man fans was like, oh god, these Spider-Man movies are fun because it's Spider-Man beating up a villain, but like when do we get to have Spider-Man actually do cool things with other Marvel superheroes? And then we finally got that for 3 movies plus, you know, plus some extra ones. And cool, checkbox fulfilled. I'm still waiting for Batman to actually go on team ups and do cool stuff where he meaningfully contributes to the team up and is not just I'm rich.
Well, coming this summer, The Flash.
Yeah, and that could be cool. But I don't necessarily expect that to be the case.
He's waiting on Batgirl. That's when he's banking on.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting on Batgirl. You know what I mean? Because like,
is that this year or when's that one come out?
I think it's this year on HBO.
I think it's this year. Yeah, it's an HBO Max exclusive. So,
I know it's getting kind of late, but before I forget, I want to talk about the best part of Peacemaker this last episode, where Adebayo says, "Don't talk about her tits or her pussy," and then Peacemaker responds with, "How about when we're fucking?"
Was that the thing you could relate to the most?
Yeah, definite. I just think it's funny. That's just shit that I would say like on dates and stuff like that, like just for fun, just to get a rise out of people. You know, it's good stuff.
I'm telling you, that bully thing was still my favorite thing he's ever said because it's like I felt him right there, man. It's like, they call me bullies. Hey, that shit hurt my feelings.
Nah, I hear that. Like I remember when we were talking about Jason Coker and how I was bullied and then became the bully, like became an active bully and then realized I was a bully. Like it was just kind of it did remind me of that too. Like it's
our therapy session with Coker.
Yeah, it's super weird when like you become the bully after being bullied, and it just contributes to the cycle.
You either
like,
die the hero.
How many bullies
to see the villain?
but here's
how many bullies do you think you generated, Dennis? From
for sure, for sure. But that's the thing. That's why, like, I totally relate and that's why I see him as the Johnny Lawrence, right? Yeah, he's totally the Johnny Lawrence, and that doesn't mean that Johnny Lawrence isn't redeemable. Like that's the thesis of Cobra Kai, is that even this shitbag is redeemable eventually. And so I like to believe that that's possibly the thesis of Peacemaker, but I'm not willing to like 100% commit to that, because I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn decides that that's not the thesis, you know? So like, but that's definitely what's going on in Cobra Kai. And that's why a lot of people, like, I've seen a lot of comparisons on TikTok and stuff that say Peacemaker is Johnny Lawrence. And yeah, I get it to an extent. But that's because Cobra Kai did such a great job of making Johnny Lawrence relatable, in that, you know, like, now that you've seen his story, okay, I understand why he was such a fucking asshole in Karate Kid. I get it. You know, like, he had a shitty stepfather. He had like all these other things. His mom was kind of trashy, you know, like all these things. He didn't have any support. And so he became, indoctrinated by the worst sensei in the history of senseis. And so what do you expect? And Peacemaker's the exact same thing, right? He's like, what did he have going for him as a kid? So I think it's incredibly relatable. It doesn't, you don't have to be ashamed that you can relate to the bully in a story anymore. I think that's the nuance and that's the level of maturity that we want to see in our stories nowadays. You know what I mean? That's awesome. And that's why Boba Fett sucks.
Way to elevate both Peacemaker and Cobra Kai while dunking on Boba Fett. That was pretty good.
I'll never miss a chance.
That's pretty masterful. If you could have dunked on like Moana and elevated the Encanto with that.
And
That would've
see,
been really
here's
cool, too.
I just want to make this clear. I never ever wanted to make it seem like I'm dunking on Moana. I love Moana. I do. I was just making the claim that, like, whoa, back up, Zach. I don't think it's the best one, but it's definitely up there.
What if Elton John performs a song from Moana?
Which one? That would have made it
Dennis
better.
picks it. Dennis gets to pick a song.
would've made
We'll
it
get
He
Elton
puts
John to
Honky
do
Cat in there.
it.
Well, if Elton John did any of Maui's, that would be cultural appropriation. So that would be bad.
He can't do any of them.
Yeah,
There's
he
nothing he
can't.
can do.
There's nothing he can do.
Damn.
Yeah.
I guess he could have done Shiny, and then maybe I wouldn't have fallen asleep. And by the way, when I say that, Jermaine Clement is one of my favorite
Oh, I know.
performers. So like, it hurts me that I fall asleep. It's like a sleeping pill for me. Every time that comes on,
Man.
I'm just like, I just pass out.
I think
can't do
the
it.
craft in that song is so good.
I've never seen it all the way through, man. Don't know what it sounds like all the way, and don't know what it looks like all the way. Can't tell you. Cool. Do you guys like? I don't know about you. Like, normally it's a question I like to ask during the other show, but like, what have you guys been watching lately? Have you been watching anything besides the two shows, the two main shows?
We finished Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, nice.
This week we binged
on Hulu, right? Selena Gomez and
Steve
Martin Short and Steve.
It's good. It's if you like Knives Out, it's kind of the same quirky comedy-ish-ness that you get with Steve Martin. But a good little mystery there.
Okay.
It's
what
quick.
about you, Zach? What else are you watching?
Yeah, I got through all the season 2 of Witcher pretty quick. Cobra Kai, I watched that in 2 sittings.
Both of those are still in the top 10 on Netflix right now in the US.
That makes sense.
They've been out for a month. Actually, The Witcher's been out for 6 weeks.
Yeah. I talked to like 6 different employees at my work. No one's even watched Cobra Kai. I almost had to never talk to those people again. I was shocked. Different age groups. So disappointing them.
I almost finished Cobra Kai before New Year's because they snuck it out on the 31st.
Yeah, I watched 4 episodes right away. I had to stop myself because it was 4 a.m. I had to stop. So, but yeah, it was just brilliant. But yeah, like Boba Fett, Peacemaker. I caught up on season 2 of Euphoria so far. I don't know if you guys are down with that one.
Oh, yeah,
it's pretty good.
I love that show, but I can't convince my wife to do season 2 yet because season 1 stressed her out so much.
Yeah, no, it gets even worse. So yeah, probably not going to go well. Yeah, I mean, because Lindsay, it's way better. It's much more tame.
I want to watch it, but we're just holding off on it until she's ready for a binge of stress and nightmares.
Just wait till it's all done.
And like, what's the funniest thing about it is like she forgets that when we watched the first season, we were like, dude, so glad we don't have kids. Because that's the whole point of that show, is to make you feel awesome for not having teenagers right now.
I got a 13-year-old, but I'm not too worried yet,
You should be.
I know.
Yeah, wait till season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason Momoa is now confirmed as the villain for Fast 10.
Cool.
Sweet. The 2-parter finale.
They couldn't get The Rock, so they got another,
The Rock fucking dipped out.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's like, thanks, but no thanks, guys.
He was pretty classy about it, too.
He's still doing, they're doing a Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Yeah.
But he's like, normal Fast and Furious? Fuck that.
It's not that. He's like Vin Diesel. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's cool. I think that's cool that he's willing to draw the line there. And if The Rock can do that, then I can be better at that. I can find a way to draw lines in certain places. What about you, Frank? What are you watching now that Yellow Jacket's over?
Oh man, I'm trying to find something. Like I said, I've been watching Schitt's Creek and Cloak and Dagger. But aside from that, they dropped the next season of Attack on Titan. So I've been trying to squeeze some time to watch that.
Aaron Yeager is also in Call of Duty now.
Aaron what?
Aaron Yeager is also in Call of Duty now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As a you could play as that character?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Do you get the propulsion jet things?
I mean, you don't get to use the power, but the finale or the finisher emote thing is him using the swords for sure.
What are the finishers? Because you had mentioned that earlier, and I just kind of took it like it was.
So
like
instead
a
of emotes they
move.
do in the game, if someone is down, you can, I think, click the thumbstick to do your like emote finisher. You basically just stab them. So
that's pretty cool. So you get a cooler way to kill someone. You
yeah,
get
kill someone that's down.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about it. Like other than that, I've just been playing Arceus and I've been playing Halo still. Lots of Halo. I just got I'm almost at platinum in my ranking in Halo.
If anything's gonna get me to get an Xbox, it's gonna be Halo. Like that's just a very important part of my life in the past that I want to get back to.
I'd wait till it's a little cleaner before picking it up if you don't already have an Xbox.
Still has no co-op, right?
Still has no co-op. I'll play co-op with you. I just beat it on Legendary with all the skulls. And it was pretty tough. And yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you with it. Online is just broken as shit. Like whenever you try to do a big team battle, like everyone, there's so much disconnecting, or like 2 people go into a 30-minute match and then the other 6 people are sitting in your lobby. They're all like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you guys playing?" And we're like,
"Takes me back to the good old days."
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel bullied every time I start a conversation, and then 3 out of 4 of us get to talk about it before Ricky changes the subject on something else.
Hey, Dennis, what shows are you watching?
See, Ricky always does it. He always does it. He never cares.
Before you answer that, Dennis, Ricky, what shows are you watching?
He already said.
The new Halo trailer comes out this Sunday.
For Halo trailer, huh?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Frank, I thought I wouldn't do it, but I dove back into Superman and Lois.
Starting from the beginning?
No, the new season started a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So there's been 3 episodes as of this week. It's damn good, man. Did they redeem it?
Okay, they redeemed it.
It's just so good that I decided to look past the silly. So what I've decided
you
about
said
the
that
show,
ending that ending whiffed it, and you didn't want to.
So I think the reason the ending whiffed it, like I can look back on it and not be as mad anymore. The problem with the show is like 80% of it is so awesome. And the weirdest thing about it is the 80% of it is the non-Superman stuff.
Yeah.
Like
the character moments.
Yeah.
And that's what had me sold on it for the most
part. And those never stopped being good. But it's just the it's kind of like Heroes, where like Heroes just thought that what we wanted was like this big thing to happen at the end that just didn't really happen the way I think we pictured it in our minds. So the final battle just turns into a very DC stereotypical thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't care about this character, and I don't care who you're fighting and how you're fighting, and can we just go back to the character stuff? And so season 2 of Superman and Lois is back to the character stuff and slowly like adding in Superman crap. So I'm just saying, if you guys have never watched it on CW, it's a damn good show.
The show's been pissing me off.
Why?
Because there's a radio ad that's been playing this week on my drive to work for that show. And it starts out with Superman just yelling, "Ah!"
Oh, yeah.
And then you hear, "It's not me, it's in my head," or some shit like that. And then it cuts into Superman and Lois on the CW. But like just to hear a screaming man on my radio for
he's loud too. He's
at
loud.
My morning 6 a.m. drive. No, thank you.
Yeah, this season there's something that is buried in the earth that's like causing him to like freak out, and like the implication is doomsday. And I don't know that after episode 3 it's necessarily still doomsday, or maybe it's a hybrid, but at one point it causes him to like lose control, and he yells so loud at his teenage kid that it echoes across like the town. Like it's super loud, and he doesn't even realize he's yelling that loud. And I could see how playing that on the radio would suck, because it's very loud, and it's like, whoa, Dad. But those are the cool things. It's like, how do you deal with it when your dad is Superman and he yells at you? You know what I mean? Like it's pretty funny.
CPS.
Seriously,
you become a supervillain.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of moments in that show where you're like, is this your supervillain moment? You know, like, but yeah, you should check it out because I still argue that there's an episode in season 1 that is the greatest Superman story I've ever seen.
I'm just burdened by the CW shows. Like I feel like I'm so
Yeah.
far behind.
Oh yeah, but that's the best part about this one is it's separate from all of them, so you
Yeah.
don't have to watch the other ones.
You also said that about the Division, and then now that the Division 2, and now that I'm playing the Division 1, I would have benefited from playing the Division 1 before playing the Division 2.
But I said you can play the Division 2 without playing the Division 1. I didn't like. Obviously, there was points where you're like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "That's a character from the first one." You know, like,
Come on, what's this story point? And you're like, "Oh, it's from the first one."
I just like I said that when we played it, but like in Superman and Lois, literally only one time ever does John Diggle show up.
Oh, cool.
And it's super awkward because I'm like, it's 15 years later, and I'm like, bro, are you the Green Lantern?
Wait, John Diggle's the Green Lantern?
The Arrow, yeah, they have him.
He became the Green Lantern at the end of the Crisis.
I've never seen
at the end of Arrow.
I've never seen Crisis. I've never seen the end of Arrow. I'm still like a couple of. I don't care about the spoilers. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, a ring finds him at the end, and earlier in the show you find out that his like mother's maiden name is Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So but like here you are 15 years later, and it's Superman, and like he comes in to help out with something just to like provide military information, and I'm like, bro, is that all you're gonna do, or are you gonna use a ring or something?
Did you use the ring?
No, it wasn't his time for that. But
that was
but
I watched most of those shows, but I think I stopped. I think like a season by on Flash, and what is it still Flash and Legends of Tomorrow? What's even on still?
There's a new show. There's a new show called Naomi.
Okay, is that tied in?
Naomi is an actual Justice League character in the comics that was created by Brian Michael Bendis like 2 years ago.
Is it tied into like the other like the Flash shows, or is it all separate now?
I think it's tied into the universe. Yeah.
Is Black Lightning still? Is that one done?
I think Black Lightning, they folded him into the Flash. He's on the Flash now. From what I've seen in the previews and stuff, like I don't watch any of them anymore. But Superman and Lois, I like it because it's removed.
This Batman figure sucks, by the way.
I'm sure it does. It's a McFarlane toy.
So I found the clip of Batman and Robin. I don't necessarily want to share it here because we're already 146.
You got yours, or which one's that one?
Yeah,
but I will save it.
Oh wow.
The what? The which one?
Azrael.
You mentioned. I actually was going to ask you that. Is he your favorite Batman?
I like the Nightfall of John Paul Valley, like the blue and gold one. But I've never found a good toy of that one. Like that's the coolest one I've ever seen. That's my favorite series.
That's because DC toys suck.
That's a good point. They had one like years ago, but it looked cool, but it was just like a really cheap toy. I saw like all the fairs when I bought it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have though.
Like I wish so badly that somebody better would get the license to those toys because I want good DC toys, but they're always just subpar.
The scales are always weird.
The scales are
not
weird.
Very good.
And then the hip joints are always weird. Like the hip joints are awful.
Yeah.
And then like the articulation is just always weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen the movie yet. Maybe that's a very accurate one. We don't know. You know?
Yeah. Frank, what you? Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, what did you think of those TikTok videos I sent you where they're shitting on the fact that Batman just stands there and takes all the bullets?
Oh yeah. Most of the TikTok videos that you sent me, I was like, eh. There was one that I did like. I don't remember what it was, but that one wasn't one of the ones that I particularly liked. Yeah. Mostly because like I think it is cool that Batman could tank all those shots from a machine gun and just keep walking, because I think that would scare the shit out of me. Like if I gave someone my best punch and they just kept walking at me like a fucking Terminator, I would just shit my pants. I think that seems more otherworldly than someone dodging my bullets. I think visibly watching someone take a shot from a high caliber machine gun in the chest and keep coming at me is scarier than someone like
I don't think the implication was that like seeing them dodge, but it's like I think it's the ricochets that make you believe that it's just straight armor, whereas Batman's armor doesn't normally ricochet, but it takes the hits, and you don't know what happened to the bullets. You know what I mean? Like
I think either way, like if I'm shooting at someone and bullets are bouncing off them, I'm scared shitless because I can't hurt this person visibly.
Yeah. But if you shoot them and you don't know where they went and they're still walking at you, isn't that more otherworldly?
I don't think at that point. I think at that point you're splitting hairs about what is and isn't otherworldly. I think Michael Keaton showed off more this worldly reaction, because when he'd get shot, he'd fall down, and then they'd be like, "Fuck, we killed him. Sweet, let's get the fuck out of here." And then he would just come out like a fucking bat, and
Michael
swoop
Myers.
Down. Yeah, he would Michael Myers you. He would Undertaker you in WrestleMania. He would just fucking sit up and just come at you. I don't think that's otherworldly at all. That's like, oh, you're obviously wearing body armor, but like just a fountain of bullets, man. That's something.
The other implication is the ricochet. How many people are dying from the ricochets? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, that's pretty reckless too.
I would say that's mostly because of he's on what, year 2, year 1,
year 2
in this one.
It's either year 1 or year 2.
I'm allowing this Batman to make some mistakes. I'm allowing this Batman to make some mistakes, and as long as he learns from them. Even Christian Bale learned from his mistakes and made less of them.
That's true. The long Halloween is year 2. The long Halloween is year 2, and the implication, like everything, all sources point to this being the long Halloween, which that is my favorite Batman story, by the way.
That's a fantastic Batman story.
Have you ever read that one, Zach?
I think I did a few years back. I think so. Yeah. I think I got that trade. Yeah.
I think my favorite is not so much Nightfall, but leading up to Nightfall. I think I forget what it's called. It's called Night something. Night. Michael Knight. It's called.
There's like Night's End is after Night's Fall. I don't know what came before it, but
I forget. I think I'm pretty sure it had a name, but I like the lead up into Nightfall, when Bane started kind of amassing power, and then Riddler took the Venom. All that was kind of like on the beginning of Nightfall. Like you could kind of see the fallout from that at the beginning of Nightfall, and then when it went into Nightfall, it was something different. But there is one story in Nightfall that I fucking love, when they dose Batman with Joker doses Batman with Scarecrow's fear toxin, and then Joker thinks he's gonna get away, but Batman just beats the shit out of him because he's fucking Batman, and it's awesome. And I'm like, oh shit.
Have you guys watched
recently? What's it?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, have you watched Injustice on HBO Max yet?
Yeah, I think I watched it last week. It was pretty good. It was entertaining. I didn't like the voices though in a lot of them. I didn't like the actual actors in it.
I did not like that movie, but I will allow you to explain what you loved about it.
Well, I just allow you.
So magnanimous.
It is quite magnanimous of me. Thank you.
I mean, the only part I like Batman basically had like somewhat of a plan long term for some of the people. It was just cool. Some of the stuff I outsmarted them, but it was entertaining. I watched it, over dinner, just kind of relaxed watching it. It's not the best WB animation, but it's entertaining to watch.
The animation's rough. It's rough, and the voice acting was not great either. But I think
Joker was bad.
I think the thing that hurt my soul the most was how easily Flash went out like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like I feel like too often nowadays, these stories have to find a reason to not have the Flash in them, because the Flash can just solve too many of the problems. So they just kill him because they're like, I don't know what to do. But like the reality is the Flash is in both the Injustice games. Games. So they figured out how to keep him. So why couldn't they? The movie do it? Yeah.
I actually had to rewatch it because I didn't realize he died. I was watching, all of a sudden I look away and I'm like, what the hell did he kill? So I rewound it and like, I guess he did.
He died off screen, Frank.
Yeah, like, all right.
That sucks.
He dies off screen.
Other properties do that though. Like what's it called? Not Age of Apocalypse. Was it Age of Apocalypse? Or no, Apocalypse, just Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse. They took Quicksilver off the board like real quick. Or was it Dark Phoenix? It was one of those two. I think it was both of those actually.
Apocalypse took him off the board pretty quick.
Yeah, they took him off the board like in the beginning of that fight, and what's it called? I think what's it called? Invincible, for all its many flaws. They were smart to take Red Streak or whatever his name was off the board.
But he's the first one to go, right?
But they showed why he needed to get off the board real quick, because he was defensively moving people around in the room before Omni-Man could get to him. And then
I don't have a problem with justifying taking the speedster off the board. I have a problem with what is it? A buzzsaw cutting the Flash's head off.
Like, is that what happened?
Yes. Yes. That, like, knowing that he can just vibrate through anything, you know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking dumb. Like, it's stupid. And so, like, it's about the execution, not about the need to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in any way arguing with, like, the second you introduce Quicksilver and make him this awesome thing, well, now you've painted yourself into a corner every movie until you figure out how to get. That's fine. So I wasn't even that mad that Apocalypse takes him off the board, and I thought it was actually really cool and Invincible that guy knew, get that guy first.
Yeah, get
you know
that fucking guy first, because he'll fucking
first. Yeah, but it's the execution of, like, oh, you got sprayed with some fear toxin and then a buzzsaw cuts your head off. It was like the most ghetto saw like trap ever for the Flash.
That's funny.
It's just no thought was put into it at all.
How did they? I'm pretty sure the regime killed the Flash in the game, but how did they do it? The regime killed their Flash, or well, no, they turned him. Oh, that's right.
No.
They made him regime. No, they made him regime.
Barely remember that game.
No, the Flash dies in the beginning of the movie.
No, I'm talking about the game.
Oh, I know. I'm saying in the movie, he dies before the bomb even goes off, dude.
Oh shit! No, so before the inciting incident of the game,
Joker takes the Flash off the table.
Oh my god!
So fast, and I'm like, really, bro? The Joker killed the Flash with a trap that he set up. Like, maybe he's not even there. I don't know. It's dumb.
Maybe I'll watch it on my phone during a particularly long, like, poop session in the morning or something.
Zach, was it before the bomb went off or right after the bomb went off? I can't remember.
No, it's before. Yeah, because he's trying to find it, right? He's trying to find it.
Oh yeah. Because they asked the Flash to go find Lois, because they just found out Lois has been kidnapped, and they're like, go, and he's like, I'm on it, and he's running into every place in Metropolis, and then he ends up in the trap room and buzzsaw to the dome, and that's it, dude.
Oh my god,
it's bad. Yeah. But I watched Superman Man of Tomorrow yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Have you ever seen that one? That one's really good.
No, I haven't watched it.
That one's what Man of Steel should have been in every way.
I'm trying to figure out how to sell Avatar: The Last Airbender to my wife, because we watched it. We watched the first episode, and then we have this thing when we watch something, we put down our phones. We don't text. We pay attention to the media that we're watching. But during Avatar: The Last Airbender, she was just texting and looking on Facebook and stuff, so it wasn't capturing her attention. So I'm trying to
show her the live action version.
Oh my god, no.
And then say, hey, they're making a Netflix show of this too. And there you go.
I'll lose her forever.
Can we start a show called Ricky Says the Dumbest Shit? Zach,
can you try showing her Korra, whatever the other version first? Oh, yeah. Maybe she'll buy into that one. Then you backdoor, Avatar instead.
Okay. I actually think that'd be a really good approach.
I haven't seen the second one. Yeah.
I love Korra. I think that show's awesome.
I love Korra. I love the time period that they're trying to like mimic the kind of like the Roaring 20s kind of steampunk,
or the industrial
the industrial age. Yeah,
I love Korra from Tron.
I know you said you're dipping in 5, but you're welcome to go now if you need to, Ricky.
if you need to go,
that's fine. Zach, I do have a question because you said you have a 13-year-old at home. I'm curious because what stuff does what superhero stuff does your 13-year-old like?
He likes all the Marvel stuff. I mean, he's guys. For him, like for me, it was Batman '89. For him, he's lived through all these Marvel movies, right? So he's seen all the Supermans. I think he he's old enough to watch the Amazing Spider-Mans when it first came out. Didn't really remember those as much, but like he's seen all the major Marvel movies. He likes
What's his
Batman.
favorite?
Wait,
I
What's
think
his
Spider-Man's
favorite?
his favorite.
he
Yeah,
wasn't even
Spider-Man.
born when Iron Man came out, right?
I don't.
Not if he's
I don't know.
13.
Yeah, he's seen them all since then. But yeah, he's
That's crazy.
yeah. So, but he enjoys all that. I think Spider-Man's his favorite. That's what he's excited about the.
You
being
just
in
made Ricky
Fortnite.
feel old. I
I
love it.
feel old. Now.
I know. It's like I can see his brain break.
Yeah, he's doing all the
That's-
math up there.
Ricky just finally understood our perspective for once ever.
But yeah,
For
so
once
he's
ever.
he's big into that. Obviously, like loves video games, and I brought him to the studio a couple times when I was working there, so he got to like play test some of the
No,
games we were making.
I remember, but he was a lot younger then.
Yeah,
Because
I
that was
remember
more
him and Pierre's
that
kid
was-
were the same age, and Pierre's kid was like a foot taller. it was just funny.
Yeah, yeah. Did is there something that your kid likes that you just don't understand why he likes it?
Not particularly. I mean, it's
Okay.
fun watching him with like I don't watch a lot of people like stream games, and like he's obviously the different generation ever. Like that's just so much more common. It's like he like loves watching Dan TDM, or used to watch like there was like Minecraft or like 5 Nights at Freddy's, like Minecraft like role play like casts he would watch, and just they did like daily videos like stuff like that. I didn't make sense to me, but I was like, that's what captures him. That's what like they're into. It's just funny seeing the difference.
Mm.
So, man, nothing I don't understand or agree with, but it's just funny how different it is.
That's their X play.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
I do have one last question for you. I mean, we can always have more, right? We can keep you as long as you want, but I am curious, like as somebody who's been following our shows for a while, what do you like about it, and what would you like to see on it?
I mean, it's just like I said, you kind of talk. It's just talking with your friends. It's just like it's hanging out with your friends at work, or it's like it's that vibe when you and your friends go see you go see a premiere movie, you just go and hang out and talk afterwards. You can tell I mean, you guys all know each other well and get along well, so it's just the way you guys get along. I mean, it's just you and your buddies basically, I mean, nothing particularly like different. I mean, just you guys seem to keep pretty consistent schedule and have a kind of a routine going. So it's hard to, I know, because I haven't gained a lot of traction on some things I've done, so it's hard to like keep doing it without like, I guess, bigger results or bigger traction. But I
Yeah,
mean, if you're doing it for fun, obviously keep doing it, right? And if more comes with it, that's great. But I mean, as long as you're having fun, just keep doing it, right?
I was really hoping you'd say like it's Ricky that's holding you back.
Yeah.
He's all,
I
it's,
thought that's
it's very
You can be
clearly
honest.
Ricky.
I got my Friday nights.
Oh, and also, yeah, just Ricky mainly.
Yeah.
You saw.
all right. Nice.
Stop censoring the racists
The
in the
check-
chat.
The
Yeah.
checks in the mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was reading
I-
that Japanese guy's thing, and he was given it like a history lesson. There was something about like Nanjing in like 1586 or something like that. And
So you're
then,
translating all that?
That one
Yeah.
was weird because it was.
well, I know
it-
Japanese. I learned Japanese. I gotta.
It was, but
Okay.
it was Japanese, but like his icon was like Kim Jong, right? Like it was.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
icon was Kim Jong, but his name was I Love Godzilla or something like that.
Yeah, I blocked him because I didn't know if I should keep it or not.
Now that's
Yeah.
racist.
I blocked it to be safe because that looked like you're writing a lot of things that I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
You
Yeah,
put Godzilla on the show.
I don't think
or
it's
whatever the
racist to
answer
block
was.
somebody that chooses to use Kim Jong as their icon. I don't think that's
I mean,
racist.
According to our last administration, we work shit out. Yeah.
Oh,
we work shit
man.
out, guys.
I
Everything's
think-
smoothed out.
I think you should know that if, according to our administration, is your defense, our previous administration, you're the bad guy, Ricky. You're the bad guy.
He
Just so you
wasn't
know.
saying so. He wasn't saying anything offensive, but I think you were right to block him.
It just felt like if I can't know what he's saying, I'm not.
Yeah, well, he was talking about different eras in history, and like I was all like, I don't know why he's bringing these up in this podcast. Maybe he got his podcasts mixed up, and he was actually going to a history podcast, and it's called like Ren X Media or something like that. It's
I
a
also-
history.
I also blocked the ones that were sending random links to probably naughty websites.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Or the Russian ones. I saw you're very racist against Russian. I guess the Cold War never died in this chat.
Hey, it's true. It's true.
It's like a Bond movie in this chat.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But yeah,
Speaking of Bond,
yeah.
I've never watched James Bond movies, but who's the next Bond for you guys? Anyone? What do you guys want?
Well, you've never watched them, huh?
I don't think I've never seen a single Bond movie.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I think most of them are highly overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch the Craig stuff from start to finish, I think it'll give you a good. You'll be entertained, right?
Like, am I better just watching The Bourne Identity though? Because I love that movie.
I think if you watch the first Craig movie and never watch any others again, you'll be very entertained.
Is that the Speedo one?
They're fairly entertaining.
Skyfall's great. You don't like
Skyfall? It depends on what you like. Like,
I don't
honestly,
like Skyfall.
I think GoldenEye is one of the top 5. I think
Doctor
GoldenEye, Doctor No.
I like GoldenEye and Casino Royale.
Those Casino Royale, and you only no. Wait, what was it? Not Moonraker. I think it's no. Wait, You Only Live Once. The Timothy Dalton one.
Die Another Day.
I don't think any Timothy Dalton one ranks on my list, man.
That's because they take themselves super serious, but I think this one in particular, I think it's You Only Die Twice, or You Only Live Once, or something like that.
Die Another Day is garbage.
Yeah, Die Another Day.
That was my first James Bond.
That's Halle Berry.
But like one of the Timothy Dalton ones is really, really good. Don't watch them all. Actually, just stay away from the Timothy Dalton ones. But there's one in particular, because he takes himself way too serious as an actor and as a Bond, that it bleeds through and it's not enjoyable anymore. Whereas Sean Connery kind of had that kind of whimsy to him, this very sexist machismo whimsy to him.
Even Roger Moore has a little bit of the whimsy too. Like
we're still enjoyable, but like they're not taking it too serious, so you shouldn't really take it too serious. Yeah, and just kind of enjoy the ride. But I think GoldenEye is a good balance of that kind of whimsy and that kind of good storytelling also.
And also Sean Bean's in it too.
And Sean Bean's in it. Yeah, Sean Bean's great in that actually.
And Famke Jensen.
A
young Famke Jensen.
And the dude that plays Hagrid in Robbie Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane's in it. Like there's a bunch of stars. Oh, Alan Cummings is in it.
Yeah.
Like there's
a lot of good. There's a lot of good people that are all like way younger than you remember them. Like in that movie. It's pretty. GoldenEye is great, and actually, Turner does the music.
If you had to watch one, GoldenEye. Start with GoldenEye.
I really love Casino Royale, though. I think that movie's just fantastic.
Casino Royale is like your grounded Bond. That's your Christian Bale Batman Bond.
It is. It's the Christian Bale Batman one where James Bond gets tortured by getting hit in the nuts a bunch.
Big time.
I like to think that Casino Royale is the official canonical reason why James Bond never procreates. Because
is that all you have to do?
Oh man, it wasn't just punched. That was vicious. What they do to his balls in that movie is horrific. And I gotta believe that there's a reason for it, and it's so that he never sires offspring in the rest of his journeys. Because he bags a lot of questionable
spoilers.
Questionable
he does, but
James Bond Jr. the cartoon.
Spoilers, he does.
Do you remember the cartoon James Bond Jr. in the 90s?
No. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
There's a James Bond cartoon.
Yeah, James Bond Jr.
James Bond Jr.
What?
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah.
To answer your question though, I would go with Idris Elba. I think he's a pretty good. I think he can play a good Bond.
Are you worried he's too old at this point though to start? Is it or like?
Nah, they were all pretty old when they started, except for Sean Connery. They were all pretty damn old. But I don't want to see Bond in this day and age. Let's get over this kind of woke culture hump first. Let's get rid of the cancel culture woke humpness, and then let's get back into entertainment, and then let's put Bond out. I just don't want to see it right now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you guys,
I'm a big fan of Idris Elba. I would take him. I would probably bring me actually to see one of those movies if he was in there.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I think he played a Bond villain though, is the problem.
Oh,
but I'm not positive.
No, he played a Bond villain in the Hobbs and Shaw movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you know what? He
Actually,
was
it
a villain
Black
in
Superman.
shit. No, what was he was a villain in something else too.
Star Trek.
Star Trek, but more spy. Mission Impossible. He was a villain in Mission Impossible too. I think.
Was he?
I'm gonna double
Which
check.
one?
Let me fact check myself.
I don't know.
Mm,
I kind of like. I've been convinced by a friend of mine that like Idris Elba is not actually a great actor outside of The Wire, but I did like him in the Suicide Squad. I did
I
like
think
him.
Henry Cavill has a good shot. He's the right age. You can get a good 4 movies out of him. He can act.
Okay, I
think,
was wrong
right?
about Idris Elba in Mission Impossible. He wasn't in it.
him. Tom Hiddleston would
I'm-
be kind of cool too.
I'm racist.
I think
Um,
Tom Hiddleston would be a way better Bond than Henry Cavill. I think
I
Tom
would like to
Hiddleston
see a
would be
buff
great.
Bond. I don't think we've seen a buff Bond.
Are you have not watched Casino Royale in a while, bro?
Daniel
Oh
Craig
my
is hella
God,
buff.
he is
Yeah,
huge.
but not Henry Cavill buff.
He doesn't have the
That's-
lats.
that's
I'll grant
because-
you that he doesn't have the lats.
That's because Bond shouldn't be Henry Cavill buff.
Why
That's
not?
kind of
Who said? he
because
shouldn't be?
Bond villains are Henry Cavill buff. That's kind
So
of
I want to see him duke it out with one.
It'll
of
be the
them.
reverse.
no, he does, but he's not as big as them.
That's the problem with a lot of
it's-
the Daniel Craig Bonds is because he
Yeah.
bursts through walls like the Kool-Aid man.
exactly he does. But that's you're missing the point. The hero, it's supposed to be a David and Goliath kind of situation. So if the hero looks like Goliath and the villains look like David,
But we've
that's
already seen it.
awkward.
We've already seen it. Give me something new.
I agree.
I don't know that that's a justification for all things to change all the time. I think that's a dangerous way of approaching that.
Here's what we need. We
I
need
think
John
some things-
Cena as James
then-
Bond, but he puts on like a shitty British, like the shittiest.
Just
British
John
accent
Cena has
ever.
everything moving
Dick
forward.
Van Dyke.
Hello,
British
governor.
accent.
I'm James Bond. I am.
Yeah. I think I think John Cena in a tuxedo would look really weird and stupid.
I think, yeah, perfect. I think Cavill's Cavill's a good choice.
No, I'll throw us out there. You may not like it, Frank, because it seems like you don't like Tenet. But what about Denzel's kid?
He's
Bond. He's super young.
I would love to see an
phenomenal
American
actor.
play James Bond.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the Brits and the Aussies steal all the good American roles all the time.
That's who I want for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Denzel's kid.
Yeah, he's a damn good actor. I mean, from what I've seen. So.
Is that Malcolm Washington?
John David Washington.
John
John
David,
David
yeah.
Washington.
John David Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I guess he's got
a
two
pretty good
kids.
actor.
No.
He was in the
The Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Book of Eli. No, he was a producer in Book of Eli. Okay. He was in Black. Who did he play in Black Klansman?
Like the main character,
He's the main dude.
the one
Oh, okay,
black guy in that movie.
Yeah. And then
Literally,
I got it mixed up with the other movie. I'm trying to think of what it was. The one that we watched. Dennis.
yeah, you're thinking of Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
the Black Klansman. That's the one with Adam Driver,
Adam
right?
Driver,
Black,
yeah.
yeah.
oh, you
That's
should
what-
watch it. It's good.
That movie's
It's
really good.
Spike. It's Spike.
Yeah, Spike Lee.
Spike Lee
It's,
joint?
Yeah,
it's
Spike Lee.
fun. It's kind of funny sometimes, because like the whole point of it is just making a fool out of Klansmen, So like, it's basically white chicks but with the Klan.
Perfect. Is Terry Crews in it talking about breaking
yeah.
Is he really?
No.
Oh man, I would have just dropped this right now and started watching it.
No, it's not that. But it is.
No.
It is. It's funnier than you would think it is.
It was on my list to watch. I just never got around to it. Okay, so he's the guy on the poster.
Yeah, I need to watch something with Adam Driver that gets the taste of The Last Duel out of my mouth.
Oh, check out Girls on HBO.
No, no. I've seen that.
I thought you
before.
said you wanted to watch something that got the taste of it.
Yeah. The unfortunate problem with Last Duel is you have to watch Adam Driver rape somebody twice. And that's bad choice, Ridley Scott. Bad choice to
Have
watch,
to, or you
American
mean
Story.
want
Yeah.
to?
do the
Once is
rewind,
okay, though, guys,
the
once.
rewind on the replay. Ridley Scott, questionable.
I mean, you gotta
But
get
it's
those
the same.
money's
It's
worth.
the same scene twice, but
There's-
just
there-
once from a different perspective.
There's 2 rape scenes in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's
Yeah, but it's 2 of the same rape scene is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
Like they choose to do the movie where it's framed in 3 different perspectives, but it just so happens that 2 of the perspectives still have the same rape occur.
Are pretty rapey. All right.
It's pretty rapey, and you're like, really? I gotta watch you do this again? All right, cool, thanks. And there's nuance to it. One is far more violent than the other.
Okay.
But they're both rape. Both of them are rape. So yeah, I don't recommend The Last Duel, by the way, guys.
Well, you just sold it to me. I mean,
I know I did.
You just work so hard to sell it to me, and then you tell me not to watch it. Okay, that's weird. Mixed signals. No, I'm going to watch The Black Klansman. I've been wanting to watch Nobody. I know you just recently saw that. Yeah,
dude, it's the same. It's David Leitch produced it, and he did the second Deadpool, right? But he also produces the John Wick movies.
Yeah, I bought it on Vudu like a while ago. It was on sale like I want to say like a month or 2 ago. I just haven't got around to watching it. And now it's free on fucking HBO Max. And
it feels like the cousin of a John Wick universe. Like it's very close to being in the same universe as the John Wick movies. It's just not quite there, but like it's good. Like I was entertained thoroughly by that movie. You guys should check that one out. Nobody's fun. It takes itself as seriously as you would think a John Wick movie with Bob Odenkirk should, it is it's a little campy because it should be, but props to that guy for learning all that choreography though, because like it's fun to watch him do Keanu type things in that, and the other thing when you're watching it is like you can't help but be like, God damn, it is so crazy how John Wick has influenced an entire generation of action movies, and then you think again at how The Matrix influenced an entire generation of action movies. How the fuck is Keanu in both? Like that's crazy that he's influenced 2 generations of action movies. You know what I mean? Like that guy's prolific as fuck.
He's put out some pretty good, like even pre-Matrix. He put out like Point Break. He put out Speed. Those are some.
Speed is definitely.
I mean, they're not on the same. To be clear, they're not on the same. I'm not saying they're on the same level as like The Matrix or John Wick, but those are. He had a pretty solid career in the '90s and the '80s, even with Dracula, even with
and now still.
And now continue. Well, now he's kind of a meme. He's kind of like propelled by his meme status. He's Lord of the Internet status. Kind of.
I'll watch another John Wick movie. You just give it to me right now. Just do it.
Yeah, I'll give it to you right now. Fine. Here, I've been holding John Wick 4. I guess I'll just give it to you right now. Then, like, he left me in charge of it.
Before we get more into John Wick talk, I am out of here.
All right, fine. Later, Ricky.
Later, Ricky.
We can almost ended the broadcast.
We can, don't do that. We can wrap it up soon if you need to go. But I gotta know, how the hell have you never watched a James Bond movie?
There's 26 of them.
Only 26? That's it?
Yeah. You don't have to watch them like in order though. Like
I think they're not like
that's the problem. No. The Craig ones you do.
The Craig ones you do, yeah. The Craig
and
ones you do.
That's kind of the problem with them. Like I think I appreciate that was the new different take that they try to do is make them like Batman, where you gotta like keep watching one after the other. But
that's kind of what I don't like about them.
Yeah, but it's exactly at the same time. That's my problem with them. Is like this Quantum of Solace is a garbage filler story that comes after Casino Royale,
like right after, and it's like, did this need to be over 2 hours long? Because I feel like nothing happened in this movie. You just wanted to fill in some blanks, and then the movie after that wasn't very good either. And then like I didn't like Spectre. Was Spectre the third one, or
I think Skyfall's one of them, right, or something?
Skyfall's the fourth one, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the next one is fucking.
My problem is
Live to Die Another Golden.
I think No Time to Die is the last
my problem with Skyfall is they basically just made him Batman. Is like he goes back to his home that you find out he was orphaned and he was raised by his special spy butler, and I'm like, okay, Batman, thanks. Like that's cool. and then Batman and Alfred defend their home from bad guys.
But
Like, and,
it's also annoying because you get the impression all through the series that Bond is kind of like a name given. Like he wasn't born James Bond,
Yeah.
but in that one in particular, like you find out, yeah, he was born James Bond. Yep,
yeah,
he's part of the Bond family.
yeah. So Skyfall gets a lot of praise that I don't feel it deserves, but I guess it gets praise from people who don't care as much about Batman, like or other superhero stories. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Skyfall does not feel special at all. But like, I could see how some, like for people who don't normally watch a lot of superhero or consume a lot of superhero content, I guess like it's cool. It's in the same way as like sometimes you see stories that people like that they don't even realize are being ripoffs of other stuff. Like
Yeah.
have you ever watched the show that Kevin Bacon show that was on Fox for a few years with what is it, the one where he's an FBI guy? What the frick is it
Kevin
called?
Bacon show. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Was it in the 90s?
No, it was like in the 2000s. On
Fox.
Fox.
Tremors the TV
No,
show.
Tremors,
no.
the TV show. The Following?
Yes, The Following. Have you ever watched that one?
I've never watched that one. That's cool.
It's pretty good. It's got the guy from Rome, he's also in Altered Carbon, the first season, as the bad guy. But basically, it's Kevin Bacon and the guy who played Iceman in the X-Men movies is his partner, and they're basically, they've got like this Hannibal Lecter kind of.
Oh wait, isn't Iceman
villain.
a twin?
Yeah, he is. But they basically got this like Hannibal Lecter type guy that is in prison, and like they need him to help solve like these cases and stuff. But then through the story, that guy gets out, and then you find out like, he's got all these people that have been following him, like hence the following, that are willing to do horrible serial killings for him and stuff. But the craziest thing about that show is like it's a straight ripoff of Batman and Robin and the Joker. Like they are those three archetypes, and like if you watch it, they even eventually start introducing more characters that are basically just ripoffs of Batman villains. So there's a Harley Quinn, there's a Poison Ivy, there's a Two-Face, there's like so many of them, but like you'll never get them to just straight up admit that that's what they did. And like for people who don't consume comic books, they're like, this is a great show, and I'm like, I liked it, but I'm watching it and I'm like, how are you guys not being sued for this? Like, this is straight up exactly what you're doing.
They call him like the Poker and the Piddler.
Yeah, exactly.
Poison Okie.
Yeah,
exactly. That was pretty egregious, I think.
It's pretty ridiculous how much they do that. And so I've seen other stuff. Oh, like a lot of people like to make that claim about Walter White and Jesse as well. They're basically, I used to think that what made them fun is they're bad Batman and Robin. Like they're like if Batman and Robin just went completely like down the dark side. That's what they are basically, but it's less literal. It's more just like this weird, fun pie in the sky kind of imagination of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Are you dying yet? I feel like you're dying.
I think that's probably a good stopping point. Like once there's like a more than a few seconds of silence, I think that's a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just probably see my kids up there. He's probably sitting there playing Pokemon for 4 hours straight. He's probably
Arceus
already.
Yeah, Arceus or the
he's
trading card
almost
game?
done already. Yeah.
Nice. Dude, that game is so long. Like I've spent 3 hours on that game, and I'm still not at a place where I need to be. Like I feel like I'm not progressing in the story. I'm just fucking around with a bunch of Pokemon in a field.
That's why you gotta just go be Green Goblin in Fortnite, and that's it. You just do that.
Just laugh.
You just
I'll get you, Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I appreciate you hanging out with us, and I appreciate you listening to us go off on a million different tangents. That's just how this goes.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. Fun. I'd like to see you on again if you can put up with us for another,
15 hours.
Another 15-hour sesh.
Nah.
Maybe we can
Oh,
watch
yeah,
the Snyder
definitely.
Cut together or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. No.
I guess the question is like if you had something you wanted to talk with us about in this year, what would it be after the Peacemaker? Because I know a lot of people are surprised that we just did Peacemaker. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, either like Doctor Strange that hits, or like probably more like the Flash, or like more of the Batman related stuff would be cool. So something like that would work out. If you guys need me back on, I'd gladly come back on.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
see
keep that in mind.
it.
Actually, the Batman one would be cool because of your
love of the
your
Keaton.
love of the Tim Burton Batman.
You mean the Flash one or the Batman? The Batman.
Well, hell, either way.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Flash, like with
Yeah, that ties in more to the
yeah.
The Flash one would work.
That's okay. I was just making sure that is what we meant. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely pencil you in for that one because I don't know anybody. I don't have a lot of people that are always coming on here and being like, 89 Batman's the best thing ever. So I definitely like we try to have people on, that best fit the subject matter, but like Peacemaker's like this weird thing where it's like, I don't know, no, there's no such thing as a Peacemaker fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we're just gonna get people and see how it goes, and that's what it is, So
yeah, I don't see how you can't not like that show though. It's just brilliantly stupid. So I don't know how you couldn't like it.
Did you notice Surgeon wasn't here this week? And I wonder if it's because last week he was like, I'm not watching that show. That's dumb. Like, I don't know why you'd want to watch that.
DC sucks.
There's a million other characters you could make shows for before them. And I was like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like that's a really negative way of looking at things. And then he never said anything again. And now he's not here this week. So bummer. Oh, well. But yeah. All right, cool. Well, then we'll keep you in mind. And then definitely I'll be sending you some notes and some like where you can have all the links and stuff, even though you did a pretty good job finding them on your own this week. I was impressed. I don't normally have people promoting us before I've even sent out the promotion messages out there onto the internet. So good on you for that.
Yeah,
but I in the message I'll send you, I do usually ask like if you have ideas for us or if you have recommendations for guests that would be good to be on the show, because we've definitely had our fair share of people. Like we've met people 15 minutes before going on. I mean, like at least I've met you, so like these two aren't like completely in the dark, but like we've definitely, our guest next week, Mikey, we all met him 10 minutes before the show started.
Yeah.
And that was a really weird thing that's turned into a really beautiful thing. Cause like, I don't know how many times we had Mikey on the show now, like 6,
quite
7,
a few,
something?
quite a few. Yeah.
Mikey is great, dude. Like almost love him.
Feels like every other show, maybe every 2 shows.
Oh, you mean every other like series that that we talk about?
Rotating fourth chair.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. Like he's
good, really solid.
He's awesome. So definitely.
And he also has good stories. Like he has another podcast where he talks about like Navy stories. That he had with his buddies, and he's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when he lets us in on those stories. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. So we're not opposed to strangers, like if like sometimes it just ends up awesome, but as long as there's strangers that somebody secondhand knows, you know what I mean? So
just season finale, just James Gunn. I'll just throw the idea out there. Just shoot him an email.
I hadn't thought of that. But
he's probably got some free time, Just he'll wrap up Guardians and he could just jump on the show with you guys.
I mean, we're all in a pandemic, so
yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Dude, what if I just tweeted him and be like, you want to be on our podcast in 2 weeks?
You got some free time this night.
3 weeks from now? That'd be pretty amazing. I might do it, Frank.
Damn right. That'd be awesome if you were on the show. He's like, yeah, this is cool. And I'm all, I love Brightburn that you directed. He's I didn't direct that, you fucking idiot. Stop saying that.
Just leaves.
Yeah, he's gone.
Zach, what's your favorite James Gunn movie?
Brightburn.
I mean, probably Guardians. I love the first Guardians. Just such a cool tone, and to take like same as you do the Peacemaker, something like no one knows a damn thing about for the most part. Just like you feel so familiar with those characters almost immediately. It's just. And the way that's changed the whole Marvel, like they added such a cool element to the Marvel world. So that's probably for me. I didn't
You're-
watch much of his earlier stuff, so I'm a fake fan.
yours was Super, Dennis, right?
Mine's Super. If we're going with directed, like
I like
think,
that one too.
I think Super is great. Yeah, I think if you're just going for like writing, there's a special place in my heart for not Army of the Dead.
Oh, Slither.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dude, Dawn of the Dead is such a tight movie, like just from beginning to end. I love that movie so much. That's why Army of the Dead just hurts my soul.
Yeah.
It's missing the James Gunn of it all. But yeah, I think Super. In fairness, I have not gone back to rewatch Super in a long time.
Yeah, I think
And
I've seen it once years ago.
I don't think you'll like it, Dennis, if you go back.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid to. I'm kind of afraid to. Just because there are some plot beats that I definitely remember, and I don't know how they'll play out now. So
yeah, I think at the time it was really quirky to have a woman rape a man at the time. We're like, hey, that's pretty cute and novel. That's a novel idea. But now in this day and age, I don't think we can have anything like that. No rapes. We gotta no rapes. We can't double down on rapes either.
Well, yeah, we learned from this. Once is okay. Twice is too much.
Twice, that's just excessive.
Well, is it better that woman is now a man?
It's just man on man rape at that point, and that's still frowned upon.
No, that got Pulp Fiction a ton of awards.
I think.
And that's also like the premise. That's like the whole like implied basic subplot of Shawshank Redemption, man.
Oh yeah,
like,
lots of rape in that.
Yeah. So I think man on man is okay.
That's the way to go. Okay. Yeah.
This is how we're ending the show, right?
I like it.
It wraps it up nicely.
Oh God.
We're canceled. We're canceled.
I might cut this last part. Who knows?
Zach, there might not be a show to come back to, and we apologize for that.
It's all right. I'll make do somehow.
All right. I'm gonna wrap it before we get even more ridiculous on that topic. Thank you so much for joining us, man, and thanks for hanging out for this long. Didn't expect it to be as long as it has, but I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll hit you up again, if not by August, like before that for sure. Because that works. The Flash is in August, so if you need to nerd out again before that,
eventually, yeah. Either way.
All right. Thanks man.
Guys.
And thanks again for like promoting us all the time. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate that too. Yeah.
Later, dude.
See you guys.